Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. It is April 12th.
Yeah.
Soon to be April 13th.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It is. Those days, they run sequentially. You can be sure that if it's the 12th on one day, the following it'll be the 13th.
If it goes back to the 10th, they're just changing the rules.
Yeah.
I saw a theory or something, and I said that the way things are, that if we ever discover time travel, it would only be able to be the ability to go into the future and not it would be impossible to go back to the past.
Yes, I have heard that as well.
You know why though, right?
No.
The Langoliers.
Yeah, right. They eat the past.
Those horrible CGI monsters.
Right.
Stephen King miniseries.
Exactly. I remember when the Langoliers came for cousin Balky.
Balky. Yeah, Balky Bartokomous from eaten up by
that was a fun show. I remember.
I read the book. I think I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, the book. There was I forget the name of it. I think it was 4 Past Midnight or something. But anyway, there was 4 big short stories in a book, and the Langoliers was one of them.
I think I just read the Langoliers. I don't know if I read the rest.
It was real good, and the movie was good.
So that's the real reason why you can't go back in time. This
makes perfect sense. Well, I know that if I ever were to somehow find myself unstuck in time, and the Langoliers were bearing down on me, I would just crack open a cold Bud Light and accept my fate. That's just how I would want to go out.
What are you, some kind of wokester?
Yeah, I know that Chud Nation is still enraged at Bud Light, which was formerly, if I remember right, they really were into Bud and Bud Light, but now I think they have shifted to Coors. I think is their choice.
Right, and then some of them found out that Coors is always actively engaged with the LGBT, and they were probably more than Bud Light was.
They probably tasted Coors and realized that it was terrible.
Well, that's why, I got so angry at Bud Light. I was like, screw you, Bud Light. I started drinking regular Bud. And I was like, my money isn't going to go to Bud Light. I was drinking Bud.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I was like, Bud Light's not getting my money.
It's crazy. Like if you go down to Bud City, which is where their headquarters are, there's two buildings right next to each other, and Bud is like this nice kind of conservative, people wearing suits and ties. Bud Light building,
bad wives everywhere,
painted like a rainbow, Pet Shop Boys music just blaring from every window. It's really it offends the senses.
They them section of the in the regular Bud, it's a he, she, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
As Marjorie Taylor Greene said so. I mean, obviously I'm joking.
Yes.
Just to be clear. But Congressman from Texas. Name Cyclops.
It is, gosh, and right when you said it,
Frank Crenshaw? Dan
Crenshaw.
Dan Eagle Eye Crenshaw.
Yes.
He put out a thing where a video of him getting beers from his beer fridge.
Yep.
He threw out the Bud Light and he said, I don't remember the beer he was drinking. It's Kona or something.
It's a Texas beer because it's in the can looks like an Astros uniform, like an old Astros uniform.
The funny part about it is that beer that he was drinking is owned by
Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
Dan and I we just don't see eyes to eye on things, I think, is the.
It's like he's just blind to certain brands, It just doesn't. Did you see that the Zamboni like running over like hundreds of cases of Bud Light.
Yeah. Was that real? I mean, like that's the kind of thing I see, and I'm like, is this from 10 years ago, or is
No, I don't know, but I'm like, what is wrong with these fucking people? This is like the again, it's like, you guys are the snowflakes. It's like you literally are the biggest. Like you are,
yeah,
living snowflakes. Like this is what's bothering you.
yeah, it is really crazy.
Dan Crenshaw is just a shitty chud congressman, and he's just gonna jump on whatever right wing,
oh yeah,
to feed into. It's just funny. I think the joke is I don't know why he tries so hard to be part of that group. They hate him. They hate his guts, even though he's like a full-on MAGA chud. I think did he vote for Trump's impeachment after January 6th? He did something. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Don't think so.
No, he didn't. He did come out like 6 months later and said something, and ever since then, he's been like persona non grata, if that's the right way to say that.
The funny part is a lot of the people on Twitter have been saying that like Budweiser's taking a financial hit, and it's completely not. I when I saw everyone tweeting that Budweiser was taking a hit, I was like,
you know what? Stock went up.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go buy some of the stock because it may be momentarily down, but Anheuser-Busch isn't going anywhere, I went to go buy it and it hadn't gone down. I mean, like
twins.
It had gone up and down like by a percentage point here or there, just like a normal fluctuation in the market. But over the last month or two, it's actually done really well.
You know why? Because all these jackasses are buying it and then
destroying it, and then buying more because they didn't like how their YouTube came out. Well, here's the thing, and like because a lot of people are saying like there are. I think the MAGA nation has really overestimated their pull. Like most people don't give a fuck about this kind of thing. Most people, if they like Budweiser, are going to buy Budweiser.
What's like funny too is like people were like, they never even heard of this person. That the main reason why all this happened is because Dylan Mulvaney was like, I don't know, is she like a TikTok person or something?
I have no idea who it is.
She's like a personality or whatever. She's a trans person, and they did a deal thing with Bud Light. And again, I'm sure just like the M&Ms, the purple M&Ms, same thing. This is just a special, one-time only packaging or wrapper or whatever it is. They're not replacing the classic yellow and brown M&M packaging. Calm your tits, people. Like they're not going to change their brand. It's a thing they do where they put out a special thing. They do it every couple around certain times of years to celebrate a thing.
Well, and these people have done their research. It's not like Anheuser-Busch, a multi-bajillion-dollar global company, just rolls out of bed one morning and says, hey, let's go this direction. I mean, they've kind of calculated that there are more people that are just sort of chill and even supportive of this kind of thing than there are like racist, misogynistic recluses living in their parents' garage that are like infuriated and triggered over everything. Like it's not going to kill them to lose the MAGA consumer, and next year it's going to not kill them a little less. And like eventually this will pan out for Budweiser. And when the companies like years ago, before it was big, that became like a little more multicultural and started featuring a few more diverse people in their commercials, they're the companies that have probably made out pretty well, So,
well, that's the other funny thing too is like, again, the right people probably don't even heard of this Dylan Mulvaney person until the right, turned her into their new Jesse Smollett. It's
I've never seen how many people are obsessed with this person. It's like borderline
It's crazy.
creepy, actually. It's actually creepy.
Yeah.
It's like the way like they are obsessed with like AOC, but it's like even weirder because it's like I don't know. But like I said, just watching all these idiots like destroy the thing and then like claim they're drinking a different beer and not realizing that like but Anheuser-Busch is like a conglomerate that owns like 200 brands, and
it does. I mean, it owns like
they
all
probably own
sorts
more
of shit.
brands than they even list. Like you wouldn't even know they own the distribution of that beer, even if they don't own the brand. You know what I mean? It's like you can't boycott this shit. These corporations have made it they have made it impossible for you to boycott a brand.
Yeah. I mean, you've got your work cut out for you if you're going to avoid everything Anheuser-Busch related.
You're just going to have to stick with Red Tick beer. Remember that? The Simpsons, the beer, the dogs, how they make Red Tick beer. The dogs.
Yeah.
Again, also owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Yes, right. a fully owned subsidiary.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's the same Mr. Potato Head thing. It's the same. It's the Cat in the Hat. It's it's like whatever gets people to not talk about like the endless barrage of gun violence. Oh, we should add that in there. There was like, and then like we're gonna talk about Tennessee. I guess the governor like signed something and now Steve Bannon called him a rhino.
Yeah. I mean,
all right. Well, what are we going to talk about before we go on a tangent?
Talk a little bit about Mandalorian and Star Wars.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit about the Marvel's movie trailer. Talk about the Tennessee 3 and the gun violence thing, and I guess the governor's what is his name? Is it Bill Lee? Is that his name?
His goofy lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
Bill
Lee. Yeah. Bill, oh God. Yeah, I forgot about him.
Who is leaving comments on Twinks on Instagram.
God.
I'm just very supportive.
We're talking about the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, suing Jim Jordan, which is really funny. I mean, that's just kind of like a funny thing.
I mean, Jim Jordan's a clown, so
yeah. We're gonna talk about Greg Abbott he's gonna pardon a murderer. I think it'll happen, but I'm not like 100% convinced it'll happen.
You think he's just playing to the right and just giving? I don't know.
It was weird because at first he goes. Why
don't we?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll talk to that.
There was a guy who. There's a piece of garbage that killed a BLM protester back in 2020. I remember it now. When I first heard this guy, they were on the pardon him. I didn't know the case, and I remember full well. This guy killed a veteran, former veteran. For the BLM protester, and he was like pushing his girlfriend in like a wheelchair, like his like disabled girlfriend, and he basically tried running over people, then literally got out, I guess, and killed this guy. And this guy, we'll get into it. This guy's a straight up piece of garbage murderer. And
yeah.
They were like, Greg Abbott's like, I'm gonna pardon him. It's like,
he is literally,
analysis coming out of his defense.
He's like really fucking awful. He was literally an Uber driver. Dude's like taxi driver. He's like a modern day taxi driver.
Except like taxi driver, he wanted to like kill like a higher politician. This guy just wants to just kill random whatever.
We're going to talk about Trump going on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, that interview is bonkers.
We're talking about Clarence Thomas's Nazi collecting benefactor.
Yeah, totally normal.
And then we're going to finish up by talking about NPR and Elon Musk and what's going on in the state of Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri was like, wait, Tennessee's getting all this attention? Don't forget about us.
Missouri's weird. Missouri used to be kind of a swing state. But it isn't anymore.
They got rid of that woman and put in Josh Hawley, right? And Josh Hawley's not even from Missouri.
Doesn't even live in Missouri.
Doesn't even live there.
Crazy. He lives in another state. Like straight up lives in another
No,
state.
like he literally did not live there. Like you
Yeah.
could say, like, he probably lives in Washington. No, you're
No.
supposed to have dual residency. He supposedly does not even live, never even lived in Missouri.
He like used his sister's house in Missouri or something.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
All right. So Mandalorian, what'd you think?
So this is episode 7 of 8 of season 3. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Only one left though, right?
Yeah, a lot went down in this episode.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny how like they have the what's his face came back,
Moff Gideon. Yep.
And it's just funny. It's like, I mean, they mention him throughout the season a little bit here and there, but like it's just funny how he doesn't show up until the last couple episodes. It's like the first. It was the last 2 episodes. He's in that. I swore he shows up a little more in season 4. A little more. I mean, season 2.
Oh yeah.
He's in the last 2 a lot, and then I think he has like one tiny scene somewhere in like episode 5 or something. So yeah, it was great. They decided they're gonna go reclaim Mandalore. But well, the show starts out in Coruscant. And that woman
is a spy. Yep.
Gideon's like basically she works directly for him. Yeah, we all knew that. She's a spy, and she's going like the lower levels of Coruscant, and there's like an Imperial droid. It's just like funny how I get like from context, like from like we need to know that's an Imperial droid, right? But like if you're the Empire and you're trying to stay in hiding, and those fucking Imperial droids, they were like infamous. If you saw one of those things coming, you're like, "Fuck!" That means Empire's coming. You got to come up with like a different droid.
At least paint it white. Yeah, I mean,
something. Do something like. I mean, I get from our like, ooh, it's cool, like from our purpose.
But they could have done that. They could have had like it undo its camouflage, or it could have like transformed into
that seems like an unnecessary step. Oh, this is true. You want to be conspicuous. That's right. I'm no dumb.
Right. Also a trash can like morphs into
yeah I am not a dumb. So there's that, and then there's like I don't know. I guess they go back to Navarro, and you see them building it up, and she shows back up with the fleet. I love it when Grief Cargo is that his name?
Yeah,
Carl Weathers. When the ship is coming, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the Empire," and he's like, "Nope, that's the Mandalore symbol." I love how big it was, like painted.
Yeah, like just spray painted.
What?
Just spray painted on the undercarriage of the
ship. Like when you have like a billion cans. I mean, that's always the one funny thing about like Star Wars, like the Empire and all that. Like, the amount of resources.
Oh yeah.
It would take, I think, to build one Star Destroyer.
Oh, it's crazy.
Would be insane, let alone like a Death Star.
Right. Yeah.
I think someone said like there's not even enough resources on this planet to make like you wouldn't have the resources to make a Death Star on this planet.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
I'm gonna build a wall. A beautiful wall. Yeah. Oh, there's that awesome scene where Paul Weathers of Grief Cargo shows Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
When like IG-11 shows up.
Yep.
But it's not IG-11, it's IG-12. And
like,
wait, what? What's going on here? And you see that little thing, those little Babu Fricks maneuvering one. And then he gets out and Paul Weathers puts Grogu in it. Well, he sees it and he's all at first you're like Grogu gets like all excited when he sees it because it's one, he liked that robot because the robot did save him.
Right.
The reprogrammed robot.
Yeah.
In that first episode of the series, that robot
was it was like an assassin still.
Yeah, that's why what's his face blew a hole in his head and then saved Grogu. Yeah, it's basically a vehicle.
It's like a mech,
you know the character Krang on Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
The little brain and the robot?
Yeah.
That's Grogu now. It's like he's basically Krang.
It was really good. I like that kind of thing. The Grogu scenes are amazing, really funny and everything.
Well, he can talk now a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a yes and no button. It's a constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Mando's like, no, you can't go in that. And the baby's like, no, I'm going in there.
Yeah. It made a lot of sense. I mean, and it was good. I will say I liked this episode a whole lot, but it seems like the big reveal is that like all this shit that's been happening is kind of Moff Gideon's design, right? And it just seems like really convoluted. I at one point I was trying to figure out like, well, how did all this come about? And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like, fuck, it's just Star Wars. So I'm gonna enjoy it.
Well, what do you mean it's convoluted?
Well, like, okay, so the warring factions of it said that Moff Gideon was behind kind of the warring factions. What was he hoping to gain from having them turn against each other? Like
the destruction of Mandalore.
But like, why is that important to him? Just
because they were considered a threat to the Empire.
Yeah, okay.
They were like powerful warriors, and they were one of the few, like, they were considered like a little empire in itself. Like, it's like, you know, so the idea was you've got to crush them because they could be a threat.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I did enjoy it a lot more when I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna
when he has the meeting with all the other like warlords,
the Shadow Council.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
That was good.
They're all like talking up Admiral Thrawn, and he's like, I'm here.
Right. It's
who the fuck knows where that guy is? You gotta wait till Ahsoka comes out to you know, you're gonna have to wait till Ahsoka comes out. Clearly, I'm the one here right now. You know. Yeah. Did you notice the one guy, Hux?
Oh yeah, he's like the dad of the Hux. Okay, that was kind of cool.
They kind of dropped hints at the whole Snoke thing and like the whole cloning.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm curious. There's like theories I saw like where, you know, Gideon says like, oh, cloning's not his thing, but that's bullshit. He is all about cloning. And I think the thing is that I guess he's the one that's creating like a Snoke type character because I guess like he wants to be in charge, but he needs like a Jedi or like a Force sensitive.
Right.
Like, that's why they needed like Grogu's like
DNA or whatever.
His
GNA, his Grogu nucleic acids.
Take a little snippet from his little cute ears. And that's the theory that he's the one that like kind of creates Snoke. So whatever happens to Gideon, like the Snoke thing gets absorbed into like whatever the fuck the First Order was supposed to be.
Right.
You know, that's the thing that drives me nuts about this though, is that like I like everything that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But it just annoys me that like it still has to lead up to these movies. Like movies are canon, they're not getting rid of them.
Nope.
But that's the funny thing is that like this is the same thing that happened with the prequels. The supporting stuff that comes out ends up making those movies better. Like the Clone Wars series makes episode 3 a better movie.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Makes episode 2 a little bit of a better movie. And whatever they do in these movies that will clearly lead up to, well, you know, but I don't even know if we'll make those movies. I feel like there was like nothing there.
Well,
movies, there was nothing there.
The big disappointment was that Rey didn't seem to complete a journey. You know,
shit. Like no one did anything. It's not even like. And the thing is that like, okay, so now they have to like do this whole thing where like, oh no, they were planning on cloning at Palpatine all along, and it's like, yeah, but the Palpatine was clearly slapdashed when they were rushing the making of Episode 9. It was like we need to. Let's bring Palpatine back. Like, come on. Right. They were sitting there like, oh, this is, you know, Filoni's like, oh, this is perfect because I was working on this thing for years about clones, clone emperor. Now the funny thing is, the clone emperor thing was totally stolen from a Dark Horse Star Wars comic. There was a comic.
I remember reading that.
Dark Times or Dark something. It was a big deal when it came out. It came out like in the early 90s. Kind of came out like it might have came out before Heir of the Empire did, the book series. And I remember this miniseries came out. It was Dark Horse. It was like a big deal because like Dark Horse at the time was like they had the Aliens and Predator license, and maybe they'll make them a little more serious. So this was like kind of like it was considered took place after Return of the Jedi, and Luke gets tempted, turning to the dark side, whatever. And there's a young clone emperor. It's all about the cloning and everything like that. But he's come back as like a wrinkled old man. He comes back like as Palpatine, like in his prime or whatever, you know.
Were these the books where that Mara Jade was introduced and stuff?
Mara Jade's Heir of the Empire. There's no Mara Jade.
Oh yeah, she's the hand. Yeah, she's the hand of the Empire.
Yeah, that's the Heir of the Empire. This was a comic series that came out in the early 90s from Dark Horse. It was the first Dark Horse comic. And what was it called? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember reading about this. I don't remember reading the book, but I remember reading about it. Yeah.
Dark Empire. Cool. Dark Empire. And it was about like the return of like the Empire and Palpatine and all that. I don't remember the stories 100%. I just remember like Luke fights like an evil version of himself. And I swear he does that in Heir of the Empire also. Heir of the Empire, I don't know. It was like okay. I remember reading it and being like, I don't know if this is that great that this is the sequel I want. Like I thought Admiral Thrawn was like kind of a cool villain.
Yeah.
George Cabot thing was always kind of cool. He was like an evil Obi-Wan basically, like from the Clone Wars. I'm surprised they never tried bringing this character into like he's like the main Jedi, and supposedly he was a clone in the storyline.
Okay.
I'm curious to how much they're going to work into there. I mean, in fact, did you see the Ahsoka trailer?
Yeah, that looks great.
Well, she says Heir of the Empire, which was kind of awesome. And then I saw footage that leaked from you only see the back of his head, Thrawn, in the trailer, but I saw footage that leaked from the Star Wars, whatever the fuck it's called, Fans Day.
Yeah.
Star Wars fan service. And they showed him in full. And again, it's kind of cool because they did it again, like what they did with Kitty Sacco. Is that her name?
Yeah. Yeah, the one who plays Bo-Katan.
Yeah. He put the voice of Thrawn and that was used in the Rebels cartoon is
nice.
That's gonna play it. And he's like a good actor. He's been in tons of stuff. It's not like some like scrub.
Right.
You know?
Well, I always liked Katie
Sack. Does Fry on Futurama. Bender.
I always liked Yardley Smith. They got Yardley Smith.
Yardley Smith is playing
Grand Admiral Thrawn. I always liked Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica, and I'd seen her in a few other things, and I was always kind of pulling for her to like get more roles, you know, because
she's like showed up in a lot of like genre stuff over the years.
Yes,
she was on Nip Tuck. She was on Flash a bunch of times, but none of this stuff was like
real great. Yeah, it was
like here and there. It's like you're like a little bit of a name, but this was a big fucking deal. This is like. So
what is the deal?
A big get for her.
Is there announced yet of season 4 of Mandalorian?
I don't think so. From what it sounds like with the announcements from the Star Wars fan days or whatever,
they would do a movie.
They announced. There's the Ahsoka show that's coming out at the end of the year. There's like Skeleton Crew.
Yep.
Acolyte. I saw a little bit of the Skeleton Crew, like some images from it. That one's. I think they said they called that like Goonies in space or something.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
It's got Jude Law in it. I think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like Miss Marvel, where like we think it's gonna be like really kiddie, and then we watch it and we realize it gets on par with the other MCU stuff.
Yeah,
it has a young person in it, but it's not dumb. Like they're not dumbing it down. They're not making it juvenile. I have a feeling that's what it's gonna be like. Main characters are gonna be young, but the situations are still going to be just as like
stakes are still going to be high.
Goonies is a great example because when you watch that movie as a kid and stuff like that, the kids were in danger all the time.
Oh
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
here and everywhere. Like it never felt like you were watching like a juvenile like
No.
cartoon or something. It like and adults could watch it. So I have a feeling
Yeah.
it's gonna be like that. There's a show called The Acolyte. I don't know what the deal with that one is. I feel like supposedly that one might take place in the past. I don't even know if
I think that's about the Sith, isn't it? Isn't that's like
I don't know. And then it might be about like young Palpatine or some shit. I don't know.
I think it's
like young
focused
Sheldon.
on the Sith.
I think it's gonna be. They were gonna call it the show Young Palpatine.
Yeah,
like young
that'll be
Sheldon,
great.
but they were like, "This is a little too much. Let's call it something else."
They're doing
Big
Visions
Bang
2.
Star Wars. What?
Visions 2 is coming out.
Yeah, Visions 2. That looks sick as hell.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Because the first one was like heavily all anime, and it looks like this one, it's like all the different kinds. They got like the people who like Kubo are doing one. There's fucking Gromit, or what was his name?
Oh, Wallace and Gromit. Yeah,
Wallace and Gromit's got one. Like,
nice.
That looks amazing. They're doing another Tales of the Jedi, which is great. The Tales of the Jedi last time had that awesome Count Dooku and stories. And I'm trying to think what else they announced, but there's no announcement. I'm curious if they're gonna wait till the finale and then we'll find out. So before, I know we were talking about the show, and we'll get back to it, but we're gonna talk about this anyway.
Yeah.
They announced 3 movies also.
Yep.
They call it a trilogy, but it's really not. Like, maybe there's probably some connective tissue, and I think this is a brilliant move on their part, and it will like allow them to make a more defined independent movie. So the first part is supposed to be the culmination of all these shows, kind of like the Avengers Endgame of Mando, Ahsoka, and I guess whatever characters survive from season 3 of Mandalorian and Ahsoka and Skeleton, any of these other shows. They did announce Andor season 2.
That'll be
line that's coming out in 2024, so that's cool. I'm assuming that one, that's it, and then supposedly like there's 12 episodes, and every 4 episode chunks takes place a year apart from each other.
Okay, cool.
So I guess that's where you end up with Rogue One in the end. Like it leads perfectly to Rogue One. So that's cool. So the movies, from what they announced, the first one, I don't remember if they had names yet, but they announced like they had directors already, and like Dave Filoni is going to be directing this one. So that's cool. He's all right. I'm assuming Jon Favreau will be involved too.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And then the second movie is called like literally like Dawn of the Jedi. And they're going back like 25,000 years.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. That will allow like just unique designs and like and then the final movie is the return of Rey, and it takes place 15 years after Rise of Skywalker. I'm actually excited about that.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that. I feel like that will allow us to finally get these characters to be like what we want them to be. And I'm curious if they'll all come back, like hopefully I feel like, people felt like Finn got the shaft in those movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was designed to be the main character next to Rey in the first movie. And Rian Johnson was like, I don't care about this character. And then the third movie, they were like, well, we don't know what really did with them because everything got
because he got shafted in the second one.
Yeah. So I feel like, and they wanted to, like, I feel like they were supposed to have a relationship of something all along, and they want to do some stupid, like, Kylo Ren shipping with Rey.
That was awful. Yeah.
So Finn got like tossed to the side. I feel like I think like that's the kind of movie that if it's good, it could like what do they call that? Like rehabilitate that series.
Yeah, you would like go back and view it differently. I mean, it would be put in a different context.
I love I sent you that TikTok of that guy talking about Star Wars, about like how he said Star Wars is gonna Star Wars, where it's like if something's not explained, they'll do something down the line and it explains everything. It's like, well, the Jedis were killed so easily by the troopers, but Ahsoka survived. How is that? And then the Jedi came out, and there was a whole episode of the clone troopers training her on how to fight clone troopers.
His basic premise was like, there's nothing wrong with Star Wars that more Star Wars can't fix.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, though, it is a property that has the privilege and the ability to do that because it is such a big name and it doesn't generate enough money that it can constantly course correct itself. Marvel's kind of similar too, because they could always like, there's something that wasn't resolved. Don't worry, in like 5 or 6 years in some movie or TV show, they'll resolve all that shit.
Yeah, and they even have more latitude because they can deal with like different Earths or different. I mean, they different multiverses. I mean,
that actor, what's it, like Ben Kingsley, like in the, he's from Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And everyone like what happened to him, and then he started like a short film where he's in prison, and then the whole like in the end of that short film that came out in like 2014, basically the real Mandarin or Mandarin,
right,
a guy who supposedly works for him gets him out of prison and basically brings him in, and then you never heard from him again. But then you watch like Shang-Chi like 8 or 9 years later, and you find out he's been like kind of like held captive for years. And it's just like, hey, it eventually resolves itself, Again, though, these brands they generate so much money that it allows the creatives to constantly go in and fill in those holes here and there. It's just funny because at the present time you're like, okay, is this intentional or is this just a hole?
Yeah.
And now you have the luxury of going in later and filling it, And now with this new episode leading up again to the whole of Mandalorian, like leading up to filling that huge hole of like bringing the Emperor back. It's like even like the Bad Batch, like that cartoon, I've been watching that. Like that's all setting up again to cloning and like the potential of the Emperor being able to come back at some point. Someone said that like, Dr. Pershing, that episode, it wasn't even just about cloning. It was about like, replacing organ parts and everything like that. It would allow someone to like kind of live forever or live for much
more. I remember that. And
they think that's maybe what Gideon was interested in more. But he clearly, he had his officer mind wipe him, the mind flare. So I don't know, maybe I'm sure more of that will be explained in the next episode.
Hopefully.
There's they get to Mandalore, and they're introduced. You find out there's another faction of people who
never left. Yeah.
That one guy, I recognized him. He was like just in a show recently. He was like one of the Skinny Pete from Breaking Bad was one of the Mandalorians.
Okay.
You remember Skinny Pete?
Yeah.
The what's his face is Jesse's like methed out friend.
Yeah, which Mandalorian did he play?
He was one of the surviving, like,
okay.
There was like 3 of them. He was like not the black guy.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's the best way I can describe it. I've seen that guy in a bunch of things too. He was just on a show that, of course, FX canceled. It was called like Kindred. It was such a good show.
Yeah, I remember that.
It ended on this huge cliffhanger. The show was canceled. So I love that. These shows. Like, don't end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
If you don't got the...
if you don't have a contract for next season, wrap that shit up.
Yeah, wrap it up. I don't mind little feelers for a second season. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
You have some fucking some kind of resolution.
Yeah.
So they're all like I like when they're on that pirate ship or pirate sail.
Yeah, the big skiff.
And of course, this guy always gets into a fight with someone. The Jon Favreau guy, the big dude.
Yeah.
He gets into a fight with the former leader of the Night Owls, I guess, the one that technically works for Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan,
they get into a fight, and of course, with the whole Mandalorian rules and everything, they all have to just sit there and let the fight happen. Like, they don't interfere to fight. But Grogu,
right? Yeah, he'll step in.
IG robot, grabs both of them, because he could probably
no.
And he's like, no.
Yeah, that was pretty kind of poignant, I thought. I mean, it was kind of
I thought that was great. I think like they really done a lot this season to like he's still a little kid, but like kind of make him a little more of a character, like define him more, make him a little more like he can't really talk yet, but the fact that he has like a little bit of a voice, a little more agency with this robot, it like definitely defined it. Like it he's still this adorable little baby green thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's like able to have more agency now, and like I thought that was great. It's like it definitely matures the character a bit. You know, I said this is kind of close enough. I said I want a new costume for him. I'm tired of him like as cute as
his
little potato sack. It's a little baby potato Yoda. His literal Muppet baby version of Yoda's outfit. As cute as that is, it's just like at some point, especially when he gets put in these situations, he needs something just to like he's still cute, but you know, he needs like a little something else.
Or something.
Yeah. So the IG-88, I think, kind of resolves that a bit, you know?
Right.
And I like that he stopped it. And then again, they're like, where did he learn that? And he's like, not from me, because it's like because he's like a Jedi, you know? It's like they don't have and the Jedi's are conflict they resolve conflicts. They would not allow something like that to occur. You know,
well, this has been a theme. Like Mando wanted Baby Yoda to fight, and you got this feeling that Baby Yoda didn't want to fight. And I think it's been kind of a theme throughout this season that Grogu wants no part of being a soldier or a fighter or protector. I mean, he will keep the peace, but it seems like an interesting take on this type of character. So
yeah, well, again, I think like even that, like, he didn't want to stay with Luke because he didn't want to be like
he didn't. Yeah,
he wants to sit there training. He wants to be with like his new dad, and then like we talked about this in the previous episode. Is that new dad's now putting him in situations too?
Yeah,
like what the fuck? So the robot kind of allows him. And that's probably why he loved it when he saw that. And he's like, ooh, you know, it's like getting a car or whatever. It's like free. And it allows him, gives him a little bit of a voice. He can speak up. It's louder. If he can talk, it's like, you know, like, you know, so he can't get the words out yet. And so it allows him to speak up a bit and come, you know, it's like,
become more of a character.
Person. Yeah. You know, it's like I said, it's like, I can't, you know, when he goes to the market and that's the best part when he just gets the droid to go to the market. He just starts eating that food. And Mandalorian, Dijon has to pay the guy.
Yeah.
He grabs some fruit. He's like, no, yes, no. He squeezes it.
It was great.
This guy. And it's just like, it's funny because it's like when your kid gets older and they're bigger, it's not the same, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you're arguing with like a person, not a little kid anymore, you know? It's like
it was great. It was a great scene.
Like when I was many years ago when I was at like a Toys R Us with Roger, and he was like having like a freak out because he wanted something. He was just picking like random shit. Like, you know, you don't even want like I'm not buying this for you. You're just picking out something. Yeah. And I had to like literally carry him out like upside down. But he was like smaller. If I did that now, I'd die, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like it's not happening. And I felt like that scene kind of made me think of that. Now Grogu is not this like
portable thing. Yeah,
like that's a joke too. He is portable, and then they put him in that thing, and now he's not portable anymore. I mean, I guess he is still portable.
Yeah, he is, but Well,
I wonder if he'll do anything cool in the next episode with the robot.
I have to think that we will start to see. I think we're going to see Grogu as part of the rescue mission, right? Like to get Mando back.
What happens is they go to Mandalore. Oh, there's like a giant monster. There's like I love that they in a lot of the episodes. It's just been like giant monsters.
Yeah, just like for no reason. Like I mean, here they are.
But that's Star Wars. That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
it's like I know people like Andor. I like Andor too, but I think Mandalorian really captures what Star Wars is supposed to be.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Like. And I'm not saying you don't like Star Wars if you prefer Andor over the other stuff. It's just that like
Andor's an outlier in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
it's great, but it's not like if someone wanted to get into Star Wars, that's not what you show them first, you know?
No. Unless it's somebody who does not like they know enough about Star Wars.
True.
Like, and you can be like, well, try this out. You might actually like this. And
yeah, you may appreciate this better.
You know, like they don't like big aliens and stuff like that. And they're like, so yeah, they go to the people that live there, tell them where they could go.
Mm-hmm.
They see the what is it, the forge? What's it called?
Yeah, the forge, the old great forge.
Yeah, and it's like huge. It's like
right.
massive. And they end up in this room and you find out it looks kind of imperial. And you find out basically that like Grand Moff Gideon had a base on freaking Mandalore for years now. Like it's just been there forever. And he's been doing shit behind the scenes there. He's kind of got like a new outfit. You don't get the full reveal yet.
No, but it's all made out of Beskar.
Well, no, he shows up. He's got the Mandalorian outfit. It's early in the episode. He's not wearing the helmet, but his outfit is kind of different. And I knew he was gonna have his own like Mandalorian outfit. Looks cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So they introduced a lot of new action figures in this episode of.
Yeah,
they did.
Sure.
I mean, like people are gonna be like, "There's gonna be a Hot Toys of that IG-88 with Yoda inside." It's gonna definitely be like.
Yeah, no, that'll be a big ticket item.
What was I gonna say? The fight scene's great, whatever, but it's a trap. Literally, it was a trap.
Yeah.
This time, like there was no Mon Calamari to sit there and be like, "What?"
No.
And
no, it was an ambush, like an old Western ambush.
Yeah, well, they take him out, a bunch of them out, but then end up in a room, and then they get locked away, and it's just Mando gets captured, so he's captured by. Dijon gets captured in the end by Gideon and his people. Right. And then they're trying to escape. It was great. She tricks Grand Moff Gideon with the sword, with the And I like that they brought up in the episode why Dijon like didn't really give a shit that he won the Darksaber, because like his
meant nothing.
They don't acknowledge it. They don't care.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't flaunt it around when. When she's like, "You gotta go bathe," and he'd be like, "I don't think so. I'm the."
Right.
It's like they just laugh him out of there. It'd be like, "Get them out." Even though in that episode of Book of Boba Fett, Fizzla, is that his name? The big dude.
Yeah, that sounds right.
He fights him to keep the sword. So I don't know. I guess it's a nice trinket, but it seems like they don't acknowledge the rule. Like, nah, she's in charge, even though it seems like they're letting Bo kind of run the ship now, Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Like, she's kind of like letting her, it's funny. I see like theories and stuff, and they still think she's like a bad guy.
I can't see that. I can see the Empire, like seeding more bad guys in. I could see like the armor being a bad guy, but I don't know. I don't think so in that instance.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that character's been there since season 1. We get our first major death, I think. Like, he shoots everybody. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Like he takes his helmet off in the end, and you see it's Jon Favreau. There's just a sweaty Jon Favreau under there the whole time.
Yeah. No, it was a great scene too. It was shot really well.
But did you notice that the Imperial Guards that came out were the ones from Last Jedi?
Yeah, the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah. The ones that take him out in the end.
Well, they were also the guards that were guarding Snoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of like what they were, or maybe like in between those red guards from Return of the Jedi that did nothing.
Right, yeah.
I like that they were in Revenge of the Sith, and Yoda just flings them across the wall. They were cool toys. Yeah, I mean, the episode's great. I look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, I hope it's real long.
Curious how it's going to end. I think this season, I feel like people are, I don't know. I feel like, it got better once I could see the first episode was fine. The second episode that was amazing with that weird cyborg robot that captures man.
Oh yeah, that was great.
third episode with the, where you kind of got side quested with Dr. Pershing.
Yeah.
I liked it. I could see how it kind of bugged people, but clearly from the whole point of the show, not this point, that was an important to the season. I guess the fourth one, again, that's the one with like the kid getting kidnapped. It was kind of like a shorter episode. It was fine.
Yeah.
But then it picked up again with the pirates, and then the last episode with what happened in the last episode?
Are you talking about the one before this?
Yeah. We just talked about it. Well, there's the pirate episode. That was like episode 5.
The one before this was kind of it was the Jack Black Lizzo one. It was
yeah, that one I think kind of annoyed people too. I thought it was great. I loved
it. I've loved every episode, although I do admit when I'm like, well, look, you have 8 episodes. Did we need a Jack Black episode now, or could you have maybe tightened up the plot on the big plot, But again, like, you got to let go with some of this stuff.
But I think it was also showing you like different planets and like, they're not just doing, the show's like called The Mandalorian, but like it's all that big picture and like what they're doing with like the Star Wars universe. And they were showing like a whole new planet with a new, like a different system, like a way they do things there. And it was just kind of showing you like this is what's going on in the universe now, There's a planet that's like demilitarized, but they still rely on robots, and they have like, I don't know. I liked it.
No, I did too.
But I feel like this is the episode where people, I think, come together and be like, oh yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was real fun.
And I'm glad they finally got rid of Carlos Esposito shaved that mustache. That's the one thing I never liked about Grand Moff Gideon and care for the mustache. He got rid of it. I think he was more menacing without the mustache. So.
I saw some people saying that he played the role too over the top today. But that
character's very over the top.
I was going to say, I remember him always having been this way, and this is just his character.
Yeah, that character's been pretty damn over the top since he was introduced. Like, he's always been kind of like a hoo-ha villain.
Right.
Like, there's not much. They're not trying to like humanize him. Like,
right.
He's just a straight up bad guy Imperial. I like all the Imperials in that scene. They're all like kind of skeezy.
Yes.
So it's like one of them looks like, I don't even know. I don't want to describe it, but they all look like classic bad guys. Like they don't look like
right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait for next week. Like I said, they did not, from what I heard, I didn't see any announcement for season 4 Mandalorian. So I don't know if like,
we'll
I don't know
that
when the movie is supposed to come out, but I'm assuming that if it does, it probably won't come out till like 2025.
Gosh, yeah. I think you're probably right.
Yeah, probably. I mean, because you got Ahsoka comes out in August.
Yep.
And those other shows come out, I don't know, either early and middle next year.
Yeah.
Then
that makes sense.
There might be something else. And then I don't know if they announced any other shows besides that. Obviously there's Andor, but that's
right.
Thing. That's not part of the obviously not part of the. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess what's interesting, I heard like the whole like one of the reasons why the New Republic like kind of almost failed from the start was like Mon Mothma decided to like basically demilitarize everything, and by doing so, it allowed like the New Republic to just come out weaker from the start. And they kind of talked about that in that episode with that Rebel pilot guy who.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this transitions into the other stuff that we know are coming down the road. I'm optimistic. I guess I'll reserve all judgment until I see next week's episode, and then I'll be have a better idea. Sure I'm excited
when the announcements will be like what's going on. Or, who knows? Maybe fucking Mandalorian. Maybe Dijon dies. I have no idea.
Well, that's kind of where I was like thinking is like I keep hearing Pedro Pascal's not happy with the role. I've heard that for years now.
Hear that?
I saw that on Twitter the other day. Yeah. And I was like, well, people have been saying that shit for like years, but
I mean, they're saying that since the first season, and I feel like
yeah.
most of that's bullshit.
Well, if he ever wanted to leave, even if he liked it, but was just like, you know what, I'm going to pursue other roles. It's called The Mandalorian. It's not called, The Him. Katie Sackhoff can just as easily run. Katie Sackhoff can just as easily run the show, or be the lead.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I think like I feel like the show would be called something else, but the Her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's interesting that he was caught, so I'm curious, like, what that's about.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get a Pedro Pascal's face next week. I feel like he's gonna get his helmet.
I think so too.
And I feel like maybe that's what they'll be like. The one big thing I think will come out of it is that like the whole like helmets and everything like that. That like some of those Mandalorians will be not so like they'll feel like show our faces now, like there's no reason to like, we took the planet back. We don't need
right.
That was the other thing too with the faces, like it's like they were like nomads. They had like no place to go. So it's like they try to stay conspicuous so you don't see their faces, like, and if they take over Mandalore again and build it back up, they don't need to be in hiding anymore. So
True.
I feel like that might be like a big I could see that being like a result of what happens.
Yeah, I could too.
And I'm sure Grogu will get some yummy treats again.
Yeah.
Dude, that part, when he's eating, like he's just.
That's hilarious.
So fucking funny.
Yeah.
There's no Grogu in the end. All we got was like a sad robot.
Yeah. And he was good, but he was more depressing than anything.
He was depressing. He was like, dude, man, he bummed me out.
Right.
So, I love that R5D4 is like kind of still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Rebel Hero. I love that one. That was the funniest part. What's that guy's name again? The Rebel pilot guy? When he's like, how'd you find out? Oh, well, Rebel Hero R5.
Oh, yeah. I don't know his name, but he's great. Yeah.
That was so funny. All right. So, well, that's it for that. Before we move on, I did see the Mario movie.
Oh, yeah.
Mario.
What'd you think?
Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't really have much to say about it. It was fine. It was like silly, like animation looks great. It's done by the people who do Minions and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny. It made me think of like Wreck-It Ralph, which is hysterical because Wreck-It Ralph is a ripoff of Donkey Kong and Mario.
Yeah.
Fix-It Felix is literally Mario.
That's true, yeah.
The way all the characters look. Chris Pratt was fine. I mean, it's whatever. I didn't even think of Chris Pratt when I saw the movie. It's not like, and you know what? I have no issue with the guy. I don't really care. Like I said, I hear some of his politics suck.
Right.
He's Star-Lord. He's the guy from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, he's not actively going on Twitter and going beep boop. No. And like saying, putting out Nazi memes like Gene Carano. So
I'll bet you he has some shitty takes, but I'll bet you he keeps them to himself.
Yeah, he's smart enough. Honestly, right. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit. He has shitty takes if you ask him. He probably doesn't.
Yeah,
guy's like true. Living the life. He's probably just like he doesn't have time to think about dumb shit like that. But if you get it out of him, he'd probably be like, "Yeah, I voted for Trump, whatever." It'd be like, "What?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry
about
it. I'm Star-Lord.
I think that's probably going to be true.
Yeah, but like, it's okay. This is really funny. So for weeks, the right wing was attacking the Mario movie, like they attack.
Oh yeah.
Any media thing, people like the left is like doesn't. This is where I always notice like left wing media. They never understand the importance of pop culture, and because they focus on real issues.
Yeah,
and they're like, why does the right wing always do this? Or Tim Pool or any of these clowns? They focus on things, and it's like, oh, they're too busy watching Marvel movies. They do that because it's pop culture. They know everyone's watching it. So you use those as a way to get people into your bullshit. if you're talking about,
Oh yeah.
Ben Shapiro reviews the new Star Wars movie, and you listen to it, and you're like, I don't remember there being communism in Star Wars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or they talk about like a whole woke rampage, and then all of a sudden now you're like, I'm gonna watch more episodes of the Daily Wire. Like that's how they get you in. It's like honey trap.
Yeah.
So the Mario movie, they were like attacking it because the whole like Peach is like a girl boss and all that. But then like because the movie did so well, it was like the best. It made more money, I think, than Ant-Man did in its entire thing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden now, Mario did well because it's not woke.
Right.
Now it's not woke, the movie.
Oh, geez,
it did well because they're like, there's 2 white males as the lead. I'm like, what? Like, I'm sorry. When I watch anything to do with Mario, I don't sit there and go,
yeah,
I like this game because it starts 2 white males as the lead. I don't even consider Mario and Luigi to have sex organs. You know?
Yeah.
Like they're just like amorphous blobs with mustaches. Like, but I just find that really funny. It's like such a bizarre obsession. Like they have to like craft everything around their bullshit narrative. It's like we talk about this. Like the right cannot, like, especially these media figures, they can't really enjoy anything.
Yeah.
So they have to create their own fantasy and say that the Mario movie is not woke. But I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, that's right. I remember watching the movie and Mario was very anti-LGBT. I thought that was weird.
Sure.
I don't like the gays. I thought that was strange.
God.
And then he told there was a big part where he sat down with Toad and and discussed the importance of the free market and the visible hands of the free market and how he taught them one thing: how to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and or by your mushroom. I mean, because they eat mushrooms there.
Yeah.
And that classic, teach a man to fish so they can, instead of giving a fish, that was a big part. And Peach was a trad wife. I thought that was interesting. She was just like, I made cookies for you guys. And she's like, they're like, Peach, you could come up with some of the adventure. And Peach was like, no, a woman knows their place.
Jeez, yeah.
And that was crazy. I didn't expect any of that in the movie. And
out of left field, yeah.
They started like going off about the Clintons. That was strange too. I didn't expect that in the Mario movie. King Koopa was a liberal, of course. The bad guy was a liberal. A little gay, because he's a liberal. That's just the way it is. Effeminate is probably the better word. This all happened in the movie. I'm not making this up. And because the right likes this movie.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Like they went on they stormed the Mushroom Kingdom. I thought that was they did a January 6th, or
nice.
They would call it I'm trying to come up with like a Mario for January 6th. Oompa Brigade, Oompa Loompa. So I'm kidding. That's not, and none of that happened in the movie. There's nothing in the movie that would make you go that this is like anti-woke. Peach is literally a girl boss by the full definition. In that one, she's the queen.
Yeah, it's a big accomplishment.
She's full, she like full on fights, and that's the other thing. There was like a video of some like woman, some chud lady, on the internet going off about like how she didn't like that Peach. This was before the movie came out, and the movie did well enough that it could be considered anti-woke. This woman said that Peach should not be fighting because that's not like I'm not even kidding. Like all the jokes I made about like how she should work in the kitchen, all that. This woman was going on about that. And I'm like, have you ever played the video game? Peach was literally a playable character since Super Mario 2.
Yeah.
You could beat the game with Peach. She was not the captured. That was like a big plus. It was like, hey, remember that woman you had to save in the first game? Well, now you can beat her and you can kick ass with her. She was like one of the best characters because she would float with her dress. The movie was fine. Like I said,
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna win any awards.
probably not.
I mean, it could for animation stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a second one. I think the second one has a chance of being better. They'll probably bring Wario in,
yeah.
or as the right would say, probably a Bernie Sanders type
Oh, jeez.
character
Yeah.
would be Waluigi. You know,
Mm.
Wario's gonna be like Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening.
And I heard it's called Super Mario 2, the Anti-Woke
Oh,
Kingdom.
all right. What year did that come out in?
I just made that up. Super Mario 2. The movie didn't.
I know. I'm just.
Yeah. Yeah, that favorite video game, Super Mario Tax Shelter.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't tried a Legend of Zelda movie.
I'm sure they definitely will. They've already announced this. Like, I mean, the whole Nintendo thing and this did really well. I'm sure that Zelda's in the works, and that Zelda be great too because that won't be woke as anti-woke as well. You know, these traditional woke properties.
They'll probably make that animated, so we'll see.
Well, Super Mario was animated also.
Yeah, but like I could see them trying a live action. A lot of people are saying that the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is really great, and that that more live action stuff like that would be welcome. So,
did you see Dungeons and Dragons?
No, but I've heard it's really good, and I've also heard it's going to come out on Paramount in like a month. So.
Oh, well, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
I want to see that. That looked good. I bet Zelda will be. I bet it'll be CGI also. I'm sure they'll just change it up a bit. It won't look as round and cute like Mario.
Yeah. Well, they might go in a different direction. The current the games are like cell shaded and real kind of bright and lively.
There's different versions though. There's somewhere like taller and like it's a little more like, and then there's somewhere he is like a little cartoonish imp.
Yeah, like a little
could be
like
live action, but I just think I don't know.
Well, Link doesn't talk really in these like Zelda does, but Link doesn't.
The hero Link?
Yeah. He doesn't talk.
Doesn't?
Uh-oh.
How many of the games have you played?
I've played Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Oh, you played more than me.
Breath of the Wild. Did I say Wind Waker? I've played like 6 or 7 of them. Certainly not all of them, but I've never seen Zelda talk.
You're trying to find a cat or an old man who misplaced his rubies in 16 different pots.
Yeah, that's yeah. So yeah, I've played a lot of the recent ones, and gosh, I'm pretty confident in saying that Link doesn't talk. He doesn't speak.
He does. I'm sure he'll talk. I mean, he does talk, but I know what you mean. It's a video game. I'm sure in the movie he'll talk. We'll see. I don't know. But again, the question is, will it be woke?
Yeah, well, I hope
Clearly,
so. I hate a sleepy movie.
Because Mario did so well because it's so anti-woke. Yeah, it was crazy too in the movie. Mario, when he does like the jump and smash thing, he smashed on a 24-pack of Bud Light.
I was waiting for that.
I thought that was interesting. He's like, I don't like the light. And then he pulled out like, I don't know, Bud. No, or one of the other brands, like Bud Anheuser-Busch. He went, Grandpa's feeling a little frisky. That was that Kid Rock video.
God, yeah.
Did you see? Okay, so do you see the pictures of him? Did you see that photo of Trump at UFC with Kid Rock? Kid Rock was wearing a hand brace, and they're saying they think it's from him using the machine gun and not doing it properly. That he fucked his hand up.
I could see that. Yeah.
Grandpa's feeling twisted. So weird.
Weak.
All right, well, on to some serious subjects.
Yes.
Oh, wait, before that, there was that photo. It was like Dana White, who's the head of UFC. Yep. I met that guy a couple times because I used to work for UFC I worked for a marketing company.
Yeah.
That worked on UFC. I did the posters in the early 2000s for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I mean, he was fine. He didn't put me in a headlock.
Well, you know what I mean. Like sometimes you meet someone who's
I've heard that
famous
he's a abusive person to like his spouse or something, or I don't know.
I met like a minor celebrity.
He's a Trump. He's a huge Trump supporter.
Okay, then he's a dick. Sorry.
Yeah, but who's your minor celebrity?
Oh, a guy. You probably haven't heard of him. He's on those home decorating shows. His name is Ryan Serhant. I did something a while ago.
To Sirhan, the guy.
No, the shot Robert Kennedy. No. Yeah. This is like some former actor turned realtor turned TLC star. And I talked with him probably for about an hour, and he was like, you could tell he's legitimately a decent guy. Like it didn't seem like it was a chore for him to be there. He was like pretty outgoing. Yeah. It's not like going to be your best friend or anything. It's a job, but you can just tell he's like, oh, he's
probably in the photo with Mike Tyson, Donald Trump, Kid Rock, and Dana White at the UFC.
No, but he had a ton of Nazi memorabilia. It was.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay. Like, so just a random. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, he did the whole thing wearing a helmet with a little spike on his.
He was on the sidecar of a motorcycle. He had a staff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that was that photo of the four of them at UFC, and Mike Tyson was there, and I saw a bunch of people who were like, because I posted that thing, and people were like, "Why was he there?" I'm like, his politics suck. I remember Mike Tyson, terrible politics, so it all makes sense that he would be hanging out with them.
Sure. Yeah.
Again, they're all fucking rich.
Yeah, it's different.
The same
it's
rules
different
you
people.
Do. It's like when they're like, "What the hell? Why is Ellen DeGeneres hanging out with George W. Bush?"
Yeah,
they're rich. They don't give a shit.
They have more in common than either of them have with their average supporters.
Exactly. Whatever bullshit George W. Bush claims that his religion or whatever lie he told about does not get in the way of the one thing I and Ellen DeGeneres have in common is that they both have many zeros attached to their bank account and social circles and stuff. It's like funny when you saw like when Trump ran president, it's like they all fucking went to the same weddings. Like Trump all the same weddings. They just stopped inviting him because it was like, we can't invite this guy.
Right.
He's the guy who said that Mexicans are rapists. I don't want to be attached to that,
Hurts the brand.
But if he didn't, he'd probably still be invited. Look at fucking Henry Kissinger. Guy's a monster. The sweetest old man if you met him.
Yeah.
If you look at the same social circles and be like, oh, Henry, he's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a horrible doesn't matter. They're all rich. It doesn't make a difference. So, like George Carlin said, what did he say? It's a big something, and you're not invited.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, no.
no.
Well, okay. So what do we got? What do we got here? The Tennessee.
Tennessee 3. Yeah, that's a really interesting story. The basics of it are if you are listening to the show, I'm sure you know the basics of it. There's a shooting in Tennessee, and 6 people were killed, and the young people protested. And with the young people protesting, and not just young people, but it was a youth-driven movement. There are these 3 Democratic state senators that protested with them, and there were 2 young black senators and one, I'd say, middle-aged white woman senator, and the GOP wanted to kick him out of the House for
they didn't.
They wanted to. And then
the 2 young black men.
Right. They took a vote and they kicked out 2 of them. Just the 2.
The white woman, the older white lady, even did interviews and said it.
Yeah.
Straight up.
She was good.
Because I'm a white person.
Yeah, I liked her. I thought, and this is real hard for speaking as a white, what I'd like to think of myself as a white ally. It's like real hard to be an ally and to like work with the struggle, but also not like hog the spotlight or what. I thought she like handled that really well, and it's rare, like I don't even remember her name, and
do you know the names of the other guys? Do you have the names? So
geez.
we're not just making up names like when we talk about like movies. We don't remember names. I don't want to go to IMDb. Do the research, brother.
Okay, so the Tennessee Three. Let's see. What do we got here? Because Justin Pearson is the representative that was put back into office today.
Yeah, it was like yesterday or something. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. By now, yesterday. And then the other one is named geez.
Is he getting back in?
Yeah, well, they're both back in now. That's what I was saying.
Also?
Yeah, well, the first one got back in a couple days ago, and Justin Pearson is the second one. He got back in today.
The right is trying to like say that this guy's a fake because like years ago, he was like, I guess when he first got into politics, it's like he didn't have a fro and he was like more like just like, and I was like, dude, who cares?
Yeah,
here people evolve, they change their looks.
Yeah,
it's like, I could find a photo of someone before they became goth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Before they got into like a certain kind of music or whatever.
The first one was Justin Jones, and he got put back into office a couple days ago, and Justin Pearson got put back into office today.
They're both named Justin. So yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah, well, that was confusing me. I was like, I kept kind
Justin
of
Jones. So these guys, we probably would never have ever heard of these two people. And that lady too. What's the woman's name?
Gloria.
We never would have heard of Gloria and the two Justins. Ever.
Yeah. Gloria Johnson.
They are in the House in Tennessee. They're not Congress people. They're not even mayors. They're just literal like, they're not even the state Senate. And we never would have heard of these people ever, probably. Fucking arrogant.
That was it.
Party in Tennessee, overstepping, using the power. And why were these guys kicked out? Because they spoke out about the gun violence.
Yeah. The thing is, I guess they were on the floor of the chamber when the person was trying to gavel something to order. There was like a real minor technicality. And then since then, it turns out that like a lot of these motherfuckers have like, one of them was like convicted of child sex offenses, and the Tennessee
not the Justins and Gloria.
No, on the Republican side,
the
Republican Speaker of the House, who presided over it, hasn't lived in his district for like years, hasn't paid taxes for years.
He's like, that's what happened with AOC. That's why when AOC came in and she beat that guy in that primary, because the guy. And that's a great thing. You expose a lot of these people, and so people expose them, and you're like, "Hey, see that person that you're supposed to represent you? They don't even live in your fucking district."
Right.
That's what happened with AOC's district. The guy was there for years. This congressperson, he didn't. It's like he wasn't them. He didn't live there.
Yeah.
Like so, it's kind of like that could hurt that person,
Right. Well, I thought what you said about their arrogance was, I thought the whole thing, that one of them, I think Justin Pearson, gave this big speech. He was sitting there about to get expelled, and some motherfucker, some state senator, just started laying into him, telling him he was throwing a temper tantrum, this, that, and the other. And the representative afterwards, and I want to say it was Justin Pearson, said like, he kind of motioned to the body as a whole and said, like, how many of you would like to be spoken to that way? Like, how many of you would tolerate being, but this guy feels emboldened to do it in front of everyone and on video, because that's the culture here in this house, is that you can speak to me that way. You can, and he didn't say because I'm a young person, or I'm a black person, or I'm a Democrat, or whatever. He didn't have to. It was just like, you have this culture of arrogance, and man, did it fucking come back to bite them. I'm not saying that the Democrats are going to win this Tennessee. I mean,
they're not going to win the House or Senate, but the joke, what I was saying though, is they gave these people a national fucking platform.
Oh, yeah.
These people now could go on to do bigger things in Tennessee or maybe even different states. And we never would have heard of these two guys and this woman as well. Never would have heard of them if the Republicans didn't fucking expunge them. I mean,
I'll tell you, man, the Republicans were supposed to have a red wave, and they didn't, because they went all in on abortion and anti-trans stuff, and it backfired. And since then, they've tripled down on it.
They're not even talking about it. Like that's why the whole Bud Light thing's so stupid, because we're just like, no one normal gives a shit about this,
right? And more with more time going on, more young people are going to vote. More older people are going to get turned off by this bullshit. It's not out of the question that a Democrat wins Tennessee. I don't think it'll happen.
Well, the governor is Republican. Speaking of which, real quick, now he's just a filthy rhino. What did he do? He signed into law like a background check or something?
Yeah, something like that.
What's his name?
I want to say Bill Lee, but that's also like one of William S. Burroughs' aliases. So I'm like questioning myself on that. Bill Lee, governor of Tennessee. He hasn't signed anything, and he's calling for some
Tennessee
new laws.
Republican governor calls on state lawmakers to toughen gun restrictions. I mean, fuck, dude. Then it sounded like a mass shooting, and that's the funny thing too. It's like, wasn't there just another? Or was that Kentucky? There was a shooting at a bank recently. Was that Kentucky?
Yeah, that was.
Well, it's like the whole argument of like, we need to put guards and teachers should have guns in the schools. It's like, dude, there's a bank and the guard was killed, I think.
Yeah. Well,
like, I don't know. I mean, a solution. It's, having a guard, like, that's great, but it's not a solution. And all you're doing is draining funds from the school too. Because now they got to go pay a guard or guards.
Yeah. And they get crazy overtime and shit. I mean, like, I don't know. Like when I see someone like Bill Lee call for,
you don't trust him?
I do. Like, I trust him on this because I think tougher gun laws are incredibly popular. I think that probably, like, I'm not even exaggerating.
And it's a great way to like change the subject from him being a jackass. Did he sign that anti-drag thing?
Probably. I don't know.
I watched a video of this guy from Nashville, and he talked about the whole like Bud Light thing and all in general, and he's saying like how Nashville is this like city of music and everything like that and culture, and like it does not, he was like, he went to the two bars that are restaurants that are one's owned by Kid Rock and another one's owned by some other right-wing country music chud or whatever, and he went there just to see. He's like, are they selling Bud Light? Let's see. Hey, do you have any Bud Light? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Kid Rock one.
It's all performative.
What?
It's all performative.
Right. And then he said that the joke is like, these guys they're not even from fucking Tennessee. They're not even from like
Kid Rock's from like a wealthy suburb of Michigan.
Yeah. He's not from Tennessee. And it's like, he doesn't represent Tennessee. It's like, we're getting like a bad rap. And then he's like, I want to assure you that like, that's not what this is. And I thought that was interesting that he brought that. But
I may have seen, if not that guy, another guy similar, because there are, I mean, you see that. You see progressive pockets in red states, Well,
it's a city. It's a famous city, and it's like, and it was involved historically with like the music and in this country. And then you see like the governor sign in this like anti-culture bill.
So crazy.
Just red
it's exhausting.
Meat. And it's like, what's that going to do for the state?
What's red meat to who? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like who benefits from this?
I wonder if
nobody benefits from this.
Yeah, they should go to, I don't know. It seems like a lot of these people just hang out on Twitter or at their own rallies where all they see, all they hear or experience are people that like are the most extreme versions of the people that might support them.
Well, like I said, it just like the Bill Lee guy, like signing us in, and it's just like, who is this for? Ron DeSantis, like, why do you have to be Ron DeSantis? Like, Ron DeSantis is a performative piece of shit because he wants to run for a higher office, and he's going to do whatever he can to weasel his way in there, and he's going to do all that dumb shit in Florida. But why does Bill Lee in Tennessee need to do that?
Yeah.
What's it for? Or do you plan on running for president? No one's going to vote for you if Ron DeSantis is running because he's the famous chud. So I don't understand. It's like, so I saw that and I was like, okay, cool. He acknowledges like we have a gun issue. Will he sign those things? Who knows if anything comes out of this? But the fact that like,
I like I said, I was saying at the beginning, like I do kind of trust him that he wants to do something. I mean,
if he does something, he'll probably get reelected, maybe, or he'll get primaried from the right. I have no idea.
He could get primaried from the right, but like he would be fine. I mean, that's how like Mitt Romney survives, or the woman from Alaska, or I mean, there's plenty of.
They're still reliably terrible people.
I guess that's what I'm saying, is that like I'm torn because
the thing with the gun thing, though, that's all the Republicans are about. That's like if there's three things, guns is one of those.
It's guns, abortion, and trans.
Yeah. Well,
that's it.
Yeah. If he signs in any kind of gun restrictions, he is done.
Yeah.
He's done. Unless he changes parties or becomes an independent, he's done. Like,
I don't see why he wouldn't, though. Like, just because I assume he's very wealthy, and you can't be governor forever. There's probably like, I don't know if they have limitations, where you can't run for office.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what term he's in? Is he in his first?
I have no idea. I don't. What is Bill Lee?
Most states it's usually 2 terms, but let's see, Bill Lee.
Term limits in Tennessee. I
mean, fuck, if he doesn't have to run again, then he probably doesn't even
I don't think they do have term limits. Well,
the Constitution provides that the governor must be at least 30 years old, must have lived in the state for at least 7 years before being elected. Governor is elected to a 4-year term and may serve no more than 2 terms. Oh. So what term is he in?
I have no idea. Bill Lee. Let's see. Bill Lee, Tennessee.
Bill Lee will serve 4 more years as Tennessee governor after defeating Dr. Jason Martin as Democratic challenger on election day in November. So that's it. He's done. I mean, so
that's probably why he's doing it.
If he doesn't have aspirations to run for Senate or governor, then he doesn't have to do any of this shit.
Yeah. And if he did something like that, he could like coast in on a CNN panel for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's all it takes is like MSNBC or CNN is you just don't have to be an outright pig monster. Like,
exactly.
As long as it's like you're not Steve Bannon, come aboard.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's
terrible, but you're friendly, terrible. And we're all
write a book.
We're all friendly, terrible here.
Yep. Write a book, serve on a few corporate boards. I mean, he could do fine for the rest of his life, and he'd probably do better if he did something like this. I mean, this may be.
You mean he doesn't want to interview Kyle Rittenhouse like Ted Nugent? Kyle the pig Kyle.
So Kyle, why do you wear this stupid man suit instead of like reveal yourself to be the natural pig that you are?
The little piglet that you are.
Well, anyway, the Tennessee 3 thing I think is fascinating. I'm super glad for it. It's very gratifying. It feels good. And I think it has energized Tennessee. Things could change.
And again, it's like the arrogance of the Republican Party. And it's like how's it not, even if you claim through the wind that this wasn't a racist act, getting rid of these 2 young black men, there's no way of it not looking like it.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, especially since you kept the white woman.
Right. And I love that the white lady, that Gloria got interviewed and said straight up, like, Yeah, I'm here because I'm white.
That's it. That's it.
Like, I'm a woman, but I'm okay because I'm white.
I read a lot of articles about the Tennessee House and Tennessee politics in general. I read a few from the Washington Post and one from Politico, and like some of them were kind of shitty articles, but some of them were really good. And I guess like this has been a really terrible place for a long time, Tennessee, but the House in general in Tennessee. And there's a famous story about a Republican that was called a rhino, and that the other Republicans peed on his chair. They called the code yellow, and when he wasn't looking, he went to the
what are they 3 years old?
That was it. It was like, and the article didn't go into it, but it was like disgusting and
but
like
they were a big Ted. That's why that Democrat switched to the Republican in North Carolina. Remember that the Dems
right.
were the Republicans are. It's like if you breathe the wrong way, you're a rhino.
Well, yeah. So, and it was just like a really disgusting story, and I guess it was like that was the thing that was real weird to me, is that they planned it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they got drunk and that happened. It was like a higher up Republican gave orders to lower Republicans, and then one of those Republicans in the House of Representatives unzipped his pants and peed on a colleague's chair, and then that happened. Like, fuck, man, what the fuck's wrong with you?
That's crazy.
Anyway, all right, so I guess we can move on to this.
Well, real quick though,
yeah.
Back to the Bill Lee thing. I said, when that article came out about that, he's considering doing something about guns restrictions in Tennessee.
Yeah,
there was a truth thing that came out from Steve Bannon that just said rhino.
Oh, geez, right? Yeah.
Like, all right. Well, let's move on to the next thing. What is that?
This is the Alvin Bragg brought charges against Trump, and they look like solid charges. I'll bet you he gets convicted.
There's like 34
34 felony counts. My guess is that this is the kind of thing, when I see this, immediately my brain is like, okay, the person gets declared not guilty of 32 and then goes to jail for 10 years on 2, and like that's not a win in my opinion. But anyway, Jim Jordan started issuing subpoenas, and he started interfering, and he's making a big deal of it. And Alvin Bragg sued him in court and said he needs to stop obstructing justice.
Well, he's saying that it's like propaganda or something, right?
Well, he also is saying it's racist and it's causing violence, and it's like a 50-page lawsuit, and there's a lot in there.
Good.
Yeah, and it's
Jim Jordan's just a fucking like chud. Like, he's just straight up.
Yeah, he's garbage. I haven't heard Jim Jordan chirp about anything related to that since.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
I was enough to shut him up. It's like these clowns on the right and stuff, like these Trump people too. Like, do you know what's going on with Dominion, with Fox?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard that today.
Like, guess what? People are going to use the Dominion thing as a freaking textbook. They're going to, because the thing is, like, all the shit they're doing about this Alvin Bragg guy is all slander.
Yeah.
They're just come up with all kinds of shit about him, and of course the Soros thing, and it's just like, so I don't know, like, and again they're saying like Jim Jordan's like conducting like a propaganda attack on him, and it is, and they've been doing this, like Devin Nunes did that for Trump back in the day. I mean, they've all been like, they're just like agents of chaos or agents of insurrection, really. I mean, like, there's no. Well, you remember when the January 6th thing, Kevin McCarthy wanted Jim Jordan on that. Yeah. And that would have just made it into a bigger shit show. Well, this lawsuit looks legit. And I've said this, and look, I know this isn't like me being smart or anything. Well, the guy is conducting a case against Trump and has 34 charges, and I'm sure he can come up with something for fucking Jim Jordan. Well, this is literally the only thing that works, is suing these people.
It's the only thing that works. Nothing else works.
I get an example of that is fucking Alex Jones. You know, it's like these people are making money off this shit. It's a huge grift. The way to shut them up is to
go after the money.
Go after the piggy bank.
Defund them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like it's got the advantage of being also the correct way you should do stuff like this. You know,
well, these are not like serious people. These people are there to grift and make a ton of money. They serve no other purpose, cause chaos, but to also become rich while doing it. And if you make it that they can't be rich off of doing it, they're not going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have any actual like values. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit.
No, they shift, you know. The values just kind of change as to what suits them on any given day. But they're going to hear that Jim Jordan case soon, I believe. And I don't know.
It wasn't just like a threat. It's an actual.
No, it's a lawsuit. It says that Jim Jordan is engaged in an ongoing effort to obstruct justice.
Yeah.
And I think it's tricky because, like, I don't know if Alvin Bragg could have brought criminal charges. I mean, this is like more of like an injunction, I think, if I'm understanding it right. But it's still great because once a judge gets involved, then the judge can set rules and establish penalties, and the judge can do all sorts of things. If the judge says, look, Jordan, knock it off, and Jordan doesn't, then that's like contempt of court, or then you start getting actual stuff, you know? Yeah. So it was really as gratifying as the Tennessee 3 thing was, seeing them walk back in office, just seeing like Alvin Bragg sue this motherfucker like early. Like, this isn't like, months later he finally, after weeks of negotiation, decided to sue him. He just like sued him out of the gate. Like, good. I mean, that's what you have to do. Yeah. It's so rare to see. Trump got arrested like a week or 2 weeks ago. Jim Jordan started chirping, and then a couple days later, Jim Jordan gets sued. Like, that's how it works. That's how you should do it.
And it's like, oh, Matt Gaetz taking place? No, because he'll get sued next too.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, and look, if Jim Jordan gets sued and the judge upholds it, then any other people are going to have even less leeway because it's been clearly established that you can't do that. You know, so. God, it felt good.
Well, we'll see what happens out of that. You know, again, even if it's just the end result, it's just that Jim Jordan shuts the fuck up. Yeah, that's really
a win.
All about. Yeah, it is the win right there. All right. Well, next story is fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Oof.
So Greg Abbott wants to. He hasn't done it yet, right?
No, and that's what I was gonna. I started saying this at the beginning when we first mentioned it. Initially, Greg Abbott was like, let's pardon this guy. And then the story shifted over the next couple days to, I want the pardons board to quickly evaluate it and get me a recommendation. And that's a lot different than what he began saying. So look,
it's enough of he basically gave himself an out.
Yes, and I still think it's likely that the guy will get pardoned because Texas is shitty that way. But
okay, so this is like super fucked up. Yeah. So Daniel Perry was found guilty by a jury for the death of 28-year-old Garrett Foster, who was among those demonstrators. So I remember this story. This was during Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. And I remember seeing a story about this man who was killed. I mean, I could find it, Garrett Foster. Like, it's super fucked up. So,
well, the even worse part is this guy was a former military guy and at the time was an Uber driver, and he texted people, and I think he posted on Facebook like, might have to kill a protester tonight.
Yeah,
and he
literally said that, like,
yeah.
Didn't he say that like weeks before he actually did the killing or something?
Yeah, and then he went out and had no reason to go into the Black Lives Matter protest, but did.
He drove into a crowd of people, first of all, before he even killed this guy. So he was trying to kill people with his car, which Ron DeSantis made legal in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Perry had driven into a crowd of protesters during a Black Lives protest in May of 2020. Foster, who had been legally open carrying an AK-47, had walked up to Perry, who shot and killed him. Perry claimed that he had acted in self-defense, but in April 2023, a jury found that Perry guilty of murder. He was acquitted of aggravated assault charge. He was currently awaiting sentence and facing between 5 years to life in prison. So this is kind of like similar to Kyle Piglet Shittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse was, I saw tweets of him. He was like coming out of defense of this guy. But the difference, I would say this, the difference between Kyle Rittenhouse and the difference between this guy is full on premeditated murder. He said he would plan on going there to kill people. He literally tried running people over with his car. So this guy who, it's a free country. We allowed to, it's, the right doesn't like, they want guns for everyone, but they don't like it when certain people have guns. And this guy, like, listen, should he be walking around with an AK-47? I don't know. But clearly he knew his life was in threat. And here's a guy trying to murder people. Yeah. Right out the gate. And then he kills this guy.
He even said in his confession that the guy he murdered never pointed the rifle at him. He said, "What do you want me to do? Wait until he aims it at me?" To which the correct answer is yes. You wait until, otherwise, anytime you see someone with a gun, you can kill them.
Yeah.
That's the alternative, is that if I go into Snuffers.
Anything that looks like a gun.
Yeah. If I go into Snuffers and I see one of those assholes open carry dicks sitting at a table.
Have you ever been to Snuffers?
No. Chomping
one
down.
Time, it wasn't very good.
It looks fine. But anyway, if I see, I have a soft spot for Snuffers because
it wasn't very good.
Snuffers, though, won't let people come in with guns.
It says that?
Yeah, and they always get yelled at on nextdoor.com by chuds who are angry about it.
I want to bring in my gun.
Yeah. I like to butter my bread with my gun.
It's a tool.
I
scoop my chowder with my gun.
I use it as a spoon. The barrel is a spoon.
I skewer a hole in my hoagie and fill it with gun gravy.
God.
And my gun gravy, I
used 2 9mm. It's a corn cob holders.
I toss my salad with 2 AK-47s. Now it's a man salad.
Well, anyway, so yeah, like, what's the alternative? If you can just kill anybody you see holding a gun, I mean, that seems like
there's enough here. Clearly, the jury knew that there was enough here that this guy was a fucking murderer. And again, just like why is the right making this a thing? This guy gets arrested, he gets sentenced. No one will ever hear about him again.
Yeah.
And the right decides to elevate this psycho.
Yeah.
And like the Rittenhouse thing is like a weird, unique thing. He was this like young kid, and he shot and killed a bunch of people, and a bunch of sick fucks rooted him on. But like, there's like a story that you could kind of manipulate and craft. There's enough there. This one, there's nothing. The guy said he wanted to go kill people. He tried running over people with a car. Then he got out and he shot and killed somebody.
Yeah.
And the fucked up thing is that guy was pushing around his girlfriend who was in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I think, even though it's not right, I think that is an important point you brought up. Like Kyle Rittenhouse, look, I don't think he's innocent. I think it is what it is. But like I remember even saying at the time, like, look, in some ways, Rittenhouse himself is a little bit of a victim in the sense that he has awful parents and he was kind of raised to be this way.
He didn't even go that deep into his like upbringing. More just like there's a story you can craft with that.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no story here. The guy admitted he wanted to kill people.
He hunted people. Yeah.
He literally went to a BLM protest, tried to kill people when he couldn't do it with his car. He got out and he shot and killed somebody. A jury said This guy's guilty. We're putting him away.
Yeah.
That's it. No one would ever know. But then the right props this guy up, and then fucking Greg Abbott's like, I'm gonna pardon him, and it's like, what?
Yeah. Well,
the
that's
jury said, like, that's who. Wait, this guy is so lazy, Greg Abbott. He does nothing for anybody. He doesn't fix the power grid. He doesn't do shit.
Sits around all day.
Doesn't literally scoots everywhere. It's like Grogu with IG-12 body. Now, he probably saw that and was like, "Ooh, make me one of those."
I wonder.
And now 20 feet tall.
There was like a decent amount of like surprise when Abbott said, "Let's pardon this guy," and then he
I'm not
shifted,
shocked by it.
No, but he shifted his story to like, well, I want a recommendation. So it's entirely possible that he calls up these pardon guys and it's like, look, give me your level best. Should we pardon this murderer? Or, you know what I mean? Like, he might make it their call. And then
sorry, the people
the woke pardon board.
You know how it is. Listen, Daniel, come here, Daniel. Sit on my lap.
Yeah.
You know how these pardon people are. You know, me and you, we're together. You know, I'm working with you. I'm your guy, man. I'm really trying to help you out of here. But the pardon people, man, they said, you know, they're the ones that decide things. I can't get around them, you know.
Right.
I wake up every day and I'm like, man, what are those pardon people gonna do?
Yeah. I don't think anyone's been pardoned in Texas in like 78 years. But I think
the guy we're gonna pardon is a fucking outright murderer.
Only person pardoned. Texas, like, who was that? Was that Carla Faye Tucker in Texas?
I don't know. What is that one?
She was like a woman murderer who got killed. They killed her. Carla Faye Tucker. She was like, everyone wanted to pardon her because she had found Jesus in prison. Carla,
that's not one of the Manson girls, is it?
No, Carla. I'm losing. Okay, Carla Faye Tucker. Oh yeah, this is awful. Carla Faye Tucker was an American woman sentenced to death for killing 2 people with a pickaxe.
Nice.
I was
burglary, though.
I'm sorry. It was.
She was the first woman to be executed in the United States in 1984.
Yeah, Huntsville, Texas.
But she stood her ground.
Yeah, Texas. It happened.
I just love Texas. That's Hey, Greg, can we do something about education? Can we do something about this? Can we do that? No. I'm too busy. Hey,
Greg Abbott's in the IG-88 hitting no.
Yeah. Can we pardon this psychotic murderer? Yes. Just having Kyle Rittenhouse come out and like try to grift off of this and be like, Bill Perry is just like me. He's a victim. He was put in this situation. He was trying to defend himself just like me.
We're just innocent men. We're just innocent.
That puppet.
Yeah.
That puppet's so fucking weird.
They'll show up on some Univision show wearing Hawaiian shirts.
No, it was like on England or something. Some show in England, and like it's like a clip that got out. It's not even
it's so good
or whatever. And there's like a conversation, and they're like, the puppet's like, we're just innocent men, and the woman and the puppet are just having this bizarre laugh, and the puppet makes a strange face.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck did I just watch? This is like an acid trip.
Yeah, it works in every context.
Let me see if I can find real quick before we move on. I posted a photo of Kyle Rittenhouse after he saw Greg Abbott wanting to pardon fellow murder hog Daniel S. Perry, and it was a picture of Piglet clapping.
That's a great one. Yeah.
There's a Kyle Rittenhouse was on Tucker Carlson, and this guy Andrew Lawrence tweeted, "I feel like the conservative campaign to legalize the killing of Democrats should be getting more attention." Yeah. You said something to me. You said like you feel like we're in a civil war or something,
I didn't say like a civil war. It
or at
feels,
war or something.
yeah, it feels like a war,
You mean
like
like there's like a guy and he reports to a secret council, like
no,
Grand Moff Gideon?
no, like you hear, and like I don't know, I don't want to like over exaggerate it, but like a lot of the stuff like a lot of the stuff you and I talk about every day, or on the podcast, just sounds so like weird, like Abbott pardoning a murderer, and like later we're gonna talk about Missouri defunding all their libraries, and like Ron DeSantis sending immigrants to Massachusetts. I mean, it just seems like these are the kind of things you read about, like in like if you're in high school history and you read about like the shit that happened right before a war. It's all stuff like this, you know what I mean? And then like in history they'll be like, although World War II started in 1941, most people
Really started in like 34.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what it feels like
Yeah, it
now.
does feel like that. There's definitely like a war, like, and I think a lot of us don't realize, but like we're just living our lives, and it's
Right.
a weird war. Like,
Well,
it's like the January 6th thing. It's like all these psychopaths that like, it's like, but what do you want to do? What do you want? Like, what's your goal? You know what I mean?
The two things here I think are like, one, we are for the most part comfortable. Like most Americans, I don't want to say most Americans are doing well. Life's very hard, but like it's not like we're living in sub-Saharan Africa where you have a lot of time and a lot of guns and no work and stuff. Like where violence just erupts. Most people, if they want a job, can go find one. Most people can get food. There aren't like dread water shortages.
There is a structural society. It's not perfect.
Yes. Right.
There's, you can go if you're hungry. There's a good chance unless you live in the freaking mountains or live in a rural area of 10 people, there's a good chance you can find like a McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
Like,
and you can scrounge up $1, or there's a good soup kitchen, or you can get by. And
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the second kind of saving grace, like, because the fact that we live in a pretty well-developed nation is kind of our immediate saving grace. But the real saving grace, and I know this sounds like dumb and optimistic, is like I think young people are gonna not fix this, but like put a band-aid on it and make it a little better. Like you saw young people do during like in previous years. I mean,
well,
I think
this is you say young people, but it's not just young people, it's like older people too. Because I think like what the right's doing is so stupid on so many levels. Like the Bud Light thing, and I hate to talk about it, but it's like it is just such a perfect example of overreaching on their part.
Yeah.
So there's a great this tweet or whatever it got around, and it's just this like average, everyday, middle-aged man schlub named Tim Stouch, and he tweets, or this is from Facebook, I don't even know. He goes, "I love Bud Light. I don't give a shit who their spokesman is. Gay, tranny, it does not matter to me. Everyone has a right to be happy. If you can find love in this fucked up world, good for you. I'm drinking Bud Light." And it's just a picture of this guy, and he's like what the Republicans think all their voters are.
Right.
Or want you to believe their voters are. And it's like, I don't know what this guy's politics are. And maybe they suck. I have no idea. But he's just like, yeah, I don't give a shit about this.
Right.
This is not important. I like Bud Light. Like,
it's got electrolytes.
It goes down easy. It's like water,
Yeah.
Like,
that's what we used to say. We used to say Bud Light is like sex on the beach because it's fucking close to water.
Close to water.
Yeah, like in a metaphorical sense.
It's all sandy too. Your privates.
Well,
just like
I think you're right. I think that I guess when I said the young people, I don't mean like because like I think that guy, you're right. Maybe his politics are good, maybe they're bad. I don't think he's going to get galvanized. This is
the kind of shit that will make you lose him, because he's just like, what the fuck? I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna like stop drinking this because they decide to have I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
Here's the thing here, and this is kind of like writ small in my own neighborhood. We have city council elections coming up, and school board elections coming up in this town, the one you used to live in and one I still live in. And we've got a mix of like really shitty people running, whose big issue are like, I don't know, monitoring books in the library or whatever. Yeah. But then there's this one guy that I'm going to vote for. There's this one guy I'm going to vote for. And I get the feeling he's kind of probably a Republican. I don't know why I feel that way. He just kind of gives that vibe. But like he has said, yeah, he lives there. He's a white male. He's a white male within 20 miles of me. But he has said zero about anything other than like, look, I just don't want a whole bunch of more buildings here. Like that's his whole shtick is like, I don't want more buildings here. He's like, I want less traffic, and I want, like, if there's green space, I want to keep it green. And if that makes our taxes go up, you know what? We're going to look at like how we can spend better while keeping, it's all like stuff. I'm like,
and I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore because
I was like, dude, this is like right up my alley. I mean, I don't, as long as you don't like throw in like, and
I think we should remove that. It's the Diary of Anne Frank from the school.
Right. And
wait, what did you say, sir?
I'd like to donate my Hitler memorabilia to
yeah. It's just research, brother.
I need to remind me of something that I hate. Like, well,
I buy tons of things that I hate. We'll get into that later. Let's not there yet.
But that's like I think in a weird sort of way, like, I don't know. It's a good example of like most people. Person. He sounds like a normal person, even if you don't agree with him.
Yeah.
And other people might legitimately have like common sense. Like other people might say, look, we need more housing here because the average house price is too high, and we need some more affordable housing because a lot of teachers can't live locally. And that's a good argument. I personally am against it, which is, I don't know. I mean, like, but like I could see that side.
Property,
right? Not my backyard. But like he's like
Joseph is what's that character with the guns and Looney Tunes?
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. I was gonna say the skunk, but never mind.
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't know. I think younger people. I think people like that guy, the Bud Light guy, may fall away from the Republican Party because the Republican Party is doing stuff like going to war.
Let's stay home, but even if they don't vote Democrat, they'll just be like, but I have no reason to go vote.
Yeah.
I hate Dems, but these guys are giving me no reation to vote.
Right.
Like, this is clown shit. I'm staying home.
And then you get like a big shift in the electorate. You there, man. Kansas kept abortion legal. Michigan's gone like super progressive. Michigan's like a pretty purple state, and
the Republicans are not all they do. They give no reason for new people to come in and vote for them. It's like the shittiest people are the loudest ones in the party. The shittiest people. I mean, God, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's the one you're propping up. She's the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
What is she gonna do for you? What is she gonna do for you?
She's a goblin. Like what? Like she's a literal gargoyle. Like what? Like, that's not appealing. Yeah, there's a lot of scumbags and douchey people, and there's like young douchey people who'd be like, yeah, fuck those libs. Marjorie Taylor Greene's the best. Like, I could see a lot of assholes like that, but most normal people are just like,
well,
ew. Like, I don't really care for the Democrats, but like,
I saw a statistician on the news the other night, and she was saying that her premise is that young people are voting overwhelmingly Democratic, and more young people register to vote every day, and they're making new young people all the time.
Well, it's what do the Republicans do? They don't come in. They basically say we want to add more guns. We want to make the areas more unsafe. We hate your friends and family, or you, depending on you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
we hate everything about you. We don't give a fuck about your generation at all. We trash you. We have no intention of fixing the environment. because we don't believe it's real. We like they give no reason for people to outside of like certain religious circles or economic circles to vote for them.
Well, the interviewer
cheat.
Yeah, the interviewer said, well, certainly some of these people are leaning Republican. Like a lot of young people listen to Joe Rogan. A lot of young people, are into that. And
most of the people that listen to Joe Rogan are people my age.
Well, the statistician said young people do listen to Joe Rogan, certainly, but they tend not to vote. Like
well, that's what I said about like when he had was it
Bernie
Sanders went on there.
Yeah.
I got excited because I was like, oh, this is great because he's a big name. Maybe I'll get some people to come out. And then I realized, I guarantee you, like the people who listen to Rogan don't even know what a fucking primary is.
Yeah, true.
They think like the moon is hollow. Like
they're the kind of person that wakes up the day after election day and is like, I really meant to vote, but
and then they smoke like a bulb.
Yeah.
And listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Like these are apathetic people. They don't care. And I'm not saying that about everyone that listens to them, but I guarantee you that whatever needle you think needed to be moved for Bernie, it definitely did not help.
No.
What it did, I think it ended up hurting Bernie because like AOC, who was like one of his biggest people, she stepped away from him a bit after that thing. Because it's like, you're taking the endorsement of an outright transphobe.
It's like going on Fox or something.
What?
It's like going on Fox or something.
Well, it's fine to go on Fox if you you go on Fox and you retaliate against them. And
Pete Buttigieg is good at that.
Bernie's good at that too. He goes on Fox and he's able to handle himself. But Rogan, it's just like a friendly conversation. And then like Rogan puts out a tepid, like, yeah, I would support him. Like maybe. It's like it was like an afterthought. And then the Bernie people immediately posted a photo of him and Rogan together. Yeah. And that Rogan, again, was already a solidified transphobe at that point. You can't have a people's revolution of any kind. You can't have, like, claim that you're for unions, for healthcare, and all these things if it's inclusive. Is that the right word? Are you using the right word? Inclusive?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Like, if you're like, listen, we're going to do these things, but, we can't worry about you guys. You're too weird, And I'm not saying Bernie is in full support of the LGBT, but that's not the message that gets sent when you have a chud like Rogan. Like, Rogan wasn't as bad back then. That's the fucked up part. He got like 10 times worse once he went on Spotify, and he really truly revealed his true colors when he came to Texas. But, like you just said, though, they don't vote.
Yeah, I don't think they do. That? Yeah, the statistician said that she was saying what you do. It's like, Rogan has a big audience amongst a lot of people, but she said of the young people that are like the 4chan crowd or the Joe Rogan crowd or the InfoWars, they don't vote. Well, they're the ones that say that are talking a lot of right-wing shit, but then they say the system doesn't work. I don't support either party, and they don't vote. They're nihilists.
I remember seeing like this bullshit when like January 6th happened and everything, and I started seeing reports of like, well, the people that attacked the Capitol, they didn't even vote.
A lot of them didn't. People. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean they're like progressive. That doesn't does that let the Republican Party off the hook? No, they bust them in. These are useful
for
idiots.
Sure.
What?
For sure. I mean, that's exactly the case.
I saw that and I was like, what's the message you're trying to send here? That you're basically giving a cover to the Republicans because a bunch of idiots, dangerous idiots that were literally bust in by Ginny Thomas and Charlie Kirk and all these other Republican organization PACs and everything. Yeah, who cares if these people didn't vote or voted or maybe voted Democrat in the past? They were in service of destroying democracy for fucking Trump.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a good pivot point because we were going to talk next about the Trump Tucker interview. And I love these interviews because you can see this is the rare instance of seeing someone like Tucker be the Charlie Brown in football type of thing, where Tucker invites Trump onto his show and then carefully sets everything up so that Trump can just have a nice, easy interview, and then Trump fucks it up over and over again.
Tucker doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah. And then Tucker winds up just looking off into space like a dog whose water dish was moved. You know, he always got this stupid look on his face. Like
that thing about Trump said about dogs or something with the Afghanistan or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, people love dogs, and look what happened to the dogs. All Joe Biden's fault. Those dogs were killed.
Yeah.
And Tucker's like, well, the funny thing is that it came out. So the funny thing about this Dominion lawsuit, because of discovery, that's the other. I'm sure that's another reason why. I would imagine Jim Jordan will fold immediately.
Yeah.
Because with a lawsuit, right, there's discovery.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think shit about Jim Jordan's ties to January 6th will come out. Shit about him in Ohio when he worked for the college and let the bunch of kids get molested. Like, all this shit will come out. Discovery, it was like, you remember when Tulsi Gabbard threatened to sue Hillary Clinton or something like that?
Yeah.
And then quickly dropped it immediately because Hillary Clinton said, "You are a propagandist for Russia." And she's like, "I'm going to sue you for that." And then it's like, it goes to discovery, and they could probably find out that you get money from like certain characters that are tied to Putin.
That's it. I mean, that's why these lawsuits, that's the second benefit to all these lawsuits, is that, like, A, it shuts them up super quickly, and B, if they want to sue, that's almost just as good because you can go through discovery. You know? I mean, it's a
hassle, but if you're rich and you have the money and the resources, like, or Hillary Clinton would, it would be like a day in the park, and
for sure,
fucking destroy Tulsi on that. It would be like, and it would come out that Tulsi was getting money from probably getting money from fucking Steve Bannon and like God, who knows what,
Yeah.
So it came out in Discovery that Tucker Carlson despises Trump.
Yeah.
So he's like a demon. Like he literally said that Trump's a demon.
Yes.
And he's right.
Yeah.
Probably Trump's, Tucker Carlson's probably like, Trump's like possibly the worst thing that happened to the Republican Party.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's yet to be seen, but it looks like it could be the case,
So he has to do this like bullshit interview with Trump, so he saves face, and it's I don't know. The whole thing was like, it's like, this is a guy you want to be president again,
right? Well, I think for them, it's kind of like most things, it's a devil's bargain, because when Trump was in office, Trump himself got very little done, but all over the country, they got in the judges they wanted. They got like people in key places. They started appointing people to boards and commissions. And I mean, they really did take over they ironically became the deep state. Like they were, so we should have seen that coming, because they kept talking about the deep state, that obviously their goal was to become it, Well,
their goal was to get rid of people they don't like and put it.
Yeah. And we're still dealing with that. You had that
deep
judge.
State was just stupid. I mean, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, you had that Trump judge that was appointed, and he's banning the abortion pill.
Yeah. So, that's right. Yeah.
So like, these are the things that we're dealing with. And so Republicans on one hand have to be saying like, oh my God, Trump is going to make it real difficult for us. But on the other hand,
the best part about the Trump judge that's trying to ban abortion bills, that it puts Republicans in an interesting predicament, because one, they have to sell this cultural war bullshit, but the true fact at the end of the day is they're all a bunch of puppets for the pharmaceutical industry, and the pharmaceutical industry is like, you can't outlaw this.
Well, then you could have some weirdo in Kentucky sue to stop Viagra, or you could have some. I mean, like
not just that, but the pharmaceutical companies don't want this drug on blood. They sell it and make money off of it. Like we put you in power so we can all make lots of money together. You know, it's like that balance. Like we get it. You gotta use religion to get the rubes, but if you overstep on the religion shit and it gets in the way of our business, we got a problem.
Yeah, that is true.
We like that you trick dumbasses into voting for us. We love that.
Yes. Keep that part up.
But you stepped over the line. You're supposed to dangle the carrot. You're not supposed to drop the carrot.
Right.
And I think that's going to backfire because a lot of these Republicans are deeply in bed with the pharmaceutical industry. Not saying Democrats are either, but the Republicans are like.
And a lot of them don't necessarily want abortion banned, you know, because like.
Well, it's a great voting, you know. It's like they say that on both sides too. With Democrats, like that's a problem too because they can fundraise off of this, and it's like.
I always used to say when I was a teacher that like, and look, I wanted all my kids to get A's and everything, but like in a perfect world, like in the middle of the semester, you want all your kids to have like an 89. Like you want them to be so close to an A that if they just worked a little harder, they'd get that A. And that's like a great place to keep people. And then hopefully by the end they get the A and everyone's happy and everyone learned. But like Republican politicians probably want their voters to feel like they're almost on the cusp of defeating abortion. If you just give me another $1, we're almost. But then if they defeat abortion, it's like, give me $1 and we can keep outlawing abortion. You know what I mean? Like that's like a less persuasive argument.
It's just like I said. It's like these people, like Ted Cruz, is just a tool of the gun lobby.
Yeah.
That's it. He's a complete tool for big business and all that stuff. And you can use the culture war shit to get people to vote for you so that you can keep delivering for these corporations and stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you overstep, your job is to do the balance.
Well,
the trick. Like you're the trickster. So like we literally paying you to trick people to get to vote against their economic well-being so we could get more pieces of the pie. And by outlawing these drugs, you are overstepping.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see that backfiring. We'll see about that.
I was just kind of looking to see if there's any more cases on the docket coming up.
And fuck, dude, like if they made it illegal, so this judge is trying to make it illegal for the whole country. Yeah.
Well, and so that was
Republicans will get completely decimated in any blue state, like any
purple state, probably some red states.
Yeah.
I mean, and Kavanaugh, just like
Arizona was a 100% red state.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago, wasn't until like less than a decade that the Arizona started to get into play with Democrats a little bit.
Yeah. Well, So we'll see.
They do with Georgia. Now, will Mississippi ever be one? Probably not.
Well, probably not, because look, there are some states, and I think this is fine. There are some states where they probably don't want like probably some Democrats don't want abortion. You know, there's some that's okay if they have like if they want to talk about like, well, we think that abortion after 20 weeks or whatever I mean, like there's some wiggle room for like
I saw some interview or something where Lindsey Graham wants to make it that abortion is illegal after 15 weeks throughout the whole country. And the interviewer was talking to Rick Scott, and Rick Scott refused to answer the question.
It's a no-win one for them, but like I guess I feel like kind of now like
when we were talking about Trump, let's just say this. I mean, I'm not going to replay the interview. I watched a lot of clips of it.
Yes.
It's bananas. Trump sounds like a fucking lunatic.
Worried about nuclear warming.
What? People are worried about. He keeps talking about the N-words too, and it's like,
this
is some racist shit. You know, it's like, why are you saying this? Like, you get to see the other N-word? Like, I remember going to this dentist in my old neighbor in Texas. This dentist is like so funny, and he goes, we don't say the N-word around here. And I was like, oh my God. And then he goes, needles. And I was like,
Yeah.
I like lost it. I was like, dude, you're killing me. This guy is so fucking funny. This
Yeah.
is so weird. You don't see the N-word already. I'm like at the dentist. I'm like, I never go to the dentist, never think I'm gonna hear the N-word. Ever. It's just not a thing. You know, it's like there's not a place and time for it, but there's definitely not the place.
Right. It's not even like
said needles. And I just started cracking up. And I'm like, I don't think I can you can work on my mouth. I'm still laughing. This is so stupid. But Trump, there's 2 N-words you can't say. But I'm gonna say one of them. Tucker's like, oh, which one?
I know.
Ooh, I'm getting a racist boner just thinking about it, Mr. Trump. That's my Tucker impression.
Yeah.
How do you do, heavy fellow Fox watchers? He goes, nuclear.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say the other one, huh? That's on my fan OnlyFans.
Right.
You want to see Papa Trump say the other N-word? You're gonna have to pay the paywall.
God. Yeah.
I become a part of my mug club.
Yeah, Trump. I don't know. I would say he's becoming increasingly.
He's repeating Russian talking points. Like the one thing with Russia, with the whole Ukraine thing, is they really are trying to like put the fear of nuclear war.
Yeah.
Oh well, if you just keep helping those Ukrainians, and we just keep this war, we just want peace. We're just peaceful.
Right.
We're just innocent men. Is that the line?
Yeah, exactly. We're just innocent men.
We're just innocent men,
Little bear with a hat.
What?
The little bear with the hat.
Yeah. And like they keep bringing up like nuclear war, and it's like, what are you getting at? Are you trying to like make a threat? Like, if you don't let us invade this country, then you might have to drop a nuclear bomb somewhere. I don't know. God. And Trump's like pushing that rhetoric on Tucker.
Yeah, he has been for a while too.
Because he's a puppet of Putin. It's not a fucking conspiracy. I'm so sick of that.
Yeah.
He was so in bed with him. It's not that he was. He is.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see some of that as like these lawsuits and prosecutions play out. The Democrats did a pretty good job of like putting it up on whiteboards during the impeachment hearings. But I'll bet you they can do better with subpoenas and discovery. So
we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about the interview. Obviously, it's Tucker Carlson. He's a piece of shit.
Yes.
He's not gonna do any. He's just gonna let Trump talk. It's like he really does. He just rambles. It's awesome.
He's very
he's like
non-linear
of the mouth. That's the funny thing too. Like, okay, so like if he went, let's say he actually gets like, I don't know, would he ever actually be put on the stand or anything like that? Could it come to that point?
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen him on the stand. He gets real angry and shuts down. He's complaining and stuff. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Did you see that picture of him from the court thing? They did a sketch artist. They had because he was in court, when he got indicted.
Yeah.
He had to report. There was a courtroom sketch of him. Did you not see that?
I saw a bunch of them of him sitting at the table. Is that what you're talking about?
There's a courtroom sketch, and it is fucking hysterical.
I think I've seen them. I think I've seen them all.
There's only like one. Let me see. Let me see. Trump courtroom sketch. I'll show it to you. So it was on the cover of the New Yorker.
Oh yeah, I see it right here.
He looks so fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Again, the guy looks like a fucking villain.
He does.
Why would you want this guy? Oh, did you see? Okay, so did you see his tweets on Easter?
Yeah. World War III.
III. Look,
Nice.
Happy Easter. Hey, everyone. Are you with your family? Are you hunting Easter eggs with the kids? That's great. Come together. Yeah, Papa Trump's got something for you.
Yeah.
World War III.
God.
That's right. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
So
Like,
weird.
I'm sorry. Trump runs, he'll win again. No. And I don't know if he'll even make it to running, honestly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
What might happen, the best scenario that could happen is that Trump runs because he wants to grift to make as much money. He needs money for
Right.
so he's gonna legally use campaign funds for his
Right.
court case. And it happens like it goes into like next year, and there's no nominee.
Yeah.
And then, like they have to throw in like DeSantis or someone last minute, and they don't have the proper machine.
Yeah.
or
Machine.
money.
Yeah, they don't have the staff or yeah.
And then Biden just steamrolls because
I don't think that's a crazy scenario, you know. Jeez.
But honestly, if I were DeSantis that happened, I would not be the one. Let Ted Cruz do that. Go get
you don't want to
Cruz run. I would wish Ted Cruz would run. I would love to see that. That'd be fucking funny.
Oh, he'd get hammered.
That guy is about as likable as a bag of nails.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, what we got next? We got
Unless you're a fence. Another bag of nails.
The Clarence Thomas thing is kind of a weird story. ProPublica came out with a big story the other day and said that Clarence Thomas has been accepting lavish gifts from one donor for the better part of like 10, 15 years. And this guy often has business appear before the court, and Clarence Thomas never discloses these gifts, and he just issues his ruling that coincidentally always seemed to favor this guy.
Yeah, he's for years been going. He got to go to like Greece and like all these other countries. He's going with them, and then you find out more stuff about this billionaire benefactor.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
he's from Dallas.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah,
I can't believe it. So this guy, this billionaire, what's his name?
Geez, I had it up here. It's a weird name. Let's see. Clarence Thomas, donor, Harlan Crow.
Yeah, Harlan Crow.
Yeah, it's like a weird name. Yeah,
racist Disney character.
Yep,
Harlan Crow here. Now you see.
Yeah.
You know what law Harlan Crow did not like?
Yeah, right.
They got rid of the Jim Crow law.
Yeah, his great uncle Jim.
Harlan Crow's great uncle Jim. So this guy who's filthy rich, and I'm assuming he's like a straight up conservative.
Some people have said he's had mixed donations, but he's a conservative
billionaire. Trump. That was a great thing when Trump ran and like started running in like 2015 and everything. He said that like I've donated to both parties.
Yeah,
what we do, we're rich, we want to win.
Yeah,
So he has this. So you go to his house and he has this thing called like the Garden of Evil.
Yeah,
it's like 20th century monsters, but it's all like specifically like Lenin, Mao, like it's like all like communist people, and you're like, wait, what 20th century villain should be there? But it's not in this garden for some reason. This garden that's made for evil. It's like one guy.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Awful. What?
On the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. I did not see it coming.
Yeah, right.
So, but if you go into his house, he has a grand collection of Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah, real weird.
And he has a signed copy of Mein Kampf. Yeah. He's got like linens with the Nazi insignia. Stuff that was like the real shit. Yeah. You know, it's like when people are like, they would love to get like an actual X-Wing from like
Right, yeah.
Star Wars movie, not a replica, but like the actual prop.
Yeah.
It's kind of like him with Nazi shit.
It is real weird. And yeah.
And some people were like trying to say, like, oh, well, you know, he's a history buff. And I'm like, okay, if that was the case, you would put that shit in a museum.
Yeah.
Not have it in your creepy Nazi fetish collection.
Right.
So this guy, I posted something about that, and I said that every person that I knew in my life that, no, I'm not saying that everyone who read Mein Kampf are bigots or anything. I'm talking about people, though, that would go out of their way to get, like, any kind of Nazi memorabilia they could get, and have any kind of, like, read Mein Kampf, but actually own a copy of it and everything like that. They tend to have an interesting, they tended to have interesting things to say about my last name.
Yeah, sure.
My last name's Israel.
Yes.
Say that in the beginning of every episode. And on the way out too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, there's something weird about that. There's something weird about someone who has a bunch of Nazi shit.
I've never met a normal Nazi memorabilia collector. Not once.
So then, of course, good old Ben Shapiro,
right?
The person you rely on to come out to defend the Jews.
Yeah, thoughtful, nuanced takes from Ben.
He said that this guy. I said if Ben Shapiro was given the order to put other Jews in the showers at the death camps, he would say, you didn't even have to ask.
Right, yeah.
I was waiting for you to tell me. That guy, and there's been other situations, like the Kanye thing, he was pretty mute about it. Like he tried to do some middle ground shit with that one. But with this Harlan Crow guy, he knows better because Harlan Crow probably donates a lot of money and gives a lot of money to the Daily Wire. He said that Harlan Crow just buys all things, you want to buy the things you hate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't like certain things and I don't buy them. You know why? Because I don't like them.
Someone said that.
Now, if Harlan Crow wanted to buy it, let's say Harlan Crow wanted to buy it all up so that the market would not have these out there.
Sure.
Then he lit them on fire.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Or he put them in a fucking museum and said, this is the garbage of the 20th century.
Donate it to the Holocaust Museum or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe maybe they destroy it or maybe they display. Who knows what they do? Let them figure it out.
So I posted that tweet on my Twitter and everything, and I'm on my Instagram too, on my stories.
Yeah.
I had a couple people who wrote me and had some weird things to say. They tried to like defend it or some shit, said I was closed-minded. And I said, closed-minded to what?
Yeah.
Nazis?
Right? Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, this word's like, I read Mein Kampf, that made me a Nazi. I'm like,
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know you.
Yeah.
But I said from my lived experience, everybody I knew that had collections of shit and displayed copies of Mein Kampf on the wall were fucking huge anti-Semites.
Yeah.
That's just my lived experience.
There's probably good people that have read Mein Kampf, and there's probably like Nazis that haven't read Mein Kampf. But I'm pretty confident that anyone who brings up in conversation about how they've read Mein Kampf, you don't want to be in that conversation. That's where you look at your watch or your cell phone.
I gotta go.
Yeah. You're like,
I diarrhea. I gotta go.
Hey. Yeah. And you leave, because nothing good will come after that sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Each sentence will be worse than the one you heard prior to it.
Why do we get off on certain Jewish holidays? What?
Right.
What? Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I ended those conversations pretty quickly, but like,
you know who doesn't end those conversations pretty quickly? Clarence Thomas.
Yeah,
he says,
Clarence Thomas. Yeah,
let me hear all about it on your yacht.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas has literally no scruples at all. No. I mean, everyone knows the dirty secret about Clarence Thomas is he was literally put in there to be an extra vote for Scalia. back in the day. He literally was just another vote for Scalia.
Right.
It's like whatever Scalia did, Thomas did. And they said that Thomas has, all these, like, all the Supreme Court justices write these long-winded, like, well-written, like, reasons why they either vote for something or against it. His would be like a paragraph.
Yeah.
He is a literal...
He's just intellectually lazy.
He is a stain on the memory of Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally, it was like, we're going to... a guy who represented a great shift in the culture and power for Black people, Thurgood Marshall. And then what do? We're going to put in the worst person. We're going to say, hey, look, we got a Black guy, and it's the worst person in the world. Yeah. It'd be like if, Ben Shapiro was put in place of something,
right.
and that's the guy who's going to represent Jews. How do you feel about that? Look, he's one of you.
Yeah.
He's one of you.
He's be like a new board member to the ADL. It's going to be Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. So Harlan Crow is a creepy, just another creepy Nazi fetishist.
Yep.
Probably jerks off to Hitler, photos of Hitler.
Yeah. Well, and that's awful for him and about him, but like he has Clarence Thomas on his payroll.
Yeah, like, I said that to that one idiot who was writing me, and I said, you don't see that there's a problem here that a creepy right-wing Nazi-loving billionaire literally owns the Supreme Court justice, and he's like, well, that's just one judge. That doesn't make it okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
And if it's just one judge, I guarantee you it's probably the other 4 or 5 judges as well. Clarence Thomas is just the one that's probably eating most of the cake, I'm sure Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, Tony Bryan, maybe even the other guy, what's his name? What's his name?
Roberts.
I'm sure they've had little pieces of Nazi pie from as well. Yeah,
that's and there's no code of ethics for the Supreme Court. I know that
that's insane. That's the most insane thing. Like any normal country, Thomas would be removed right now. He should be impeached. He should be removed from fucking.
I think the Senate Judiciary Committee sent a memo to John Roberts saying, like, what is going on? I don't think anything will come of it.
No, nothing will come out of it because they all protect each other.
Yeah.
Like they're all benefiting. They're all part of the club. It's like, you get this gig for life and you're like 9 little emperors,
Yeah, for sure.
You could pray is that like one of them that you have a slim majority, that you have one extra of you versus the other one. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's pretty galling.
It's like the Republicans don't have to win an election for like 2 decades.
Yeah, probably. Like 20, 30 years. Yeah.
And we could still have a 6-3 court.
Yeah, they do.
Even if like one of them left, it would still be a 5-4 court.
Well, ideally, you get more state judiciaries, and they can handle it on that level. And it doesn't need to get to the Supreme Court, but.
Well, that's why the Biden administration has been putting in a ton of people.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. Like Trump ramped it up and put a ton of people, but I think Biden might be outnumbering him at this point.
Yeah, but like it sucks because like one shitty judge will fuck up the work of 100 good judges.
Right?
Because a good judge will occasionally rule the way you don't want
him or her to rule. One good judge to get rid of something shitty too.
True. That's true.
You want to make sure you have more of them. I know what you mean. All it takes is, and it's usually someone from Texas. It always is. Anytime something comes up, and it's
very often
benefits is like there's a
Texas or Florida.
Butthole
Springs.
Butthole Springs, Texas. Fucking brainworm, Florida. The brackish water, Florida. There's a judge. There's a literal bog monster. It's made out of red seaweed. Now, what's that shit? Red
tide. Yeah,
The judge is literally made out of red tide.
A swamp elemental is running for county commission, and like,
Drink Bud Light. Vote
Jesus.
that red puddle of toxic sludge in. Hey, he's red. That's who we are.
Right. That's our jersey color.
It's a literal red wave of toxic sludge. All right. We got two quick ones.
Yeah.
NPR, Elon.
Yeah, and NPR did. Elon Musk slapped NPR with a state-funded media disclaimer. And I think NPR gets like 0.5% of their budget from grants.
Yeah. This is the been right-wing red meat for like right-wing politicians. Every time there's something, they're always like, we'll free up money is if we got rid of NPR. And they're like, dude, it's not even like a thousandth of our budget goes to NPR.
Well, NPR had a meeting and they said we're going to stop being on Twitter. And
it's like Elon constantly has to play into the right-wing red meat, because he's a full-on right-winger. It's like the same thing with like Rick Abbott. Like, I'm going to pardon this psychopath because he represents part of whatever fucked up right-wing culture warrior. Elon's doing like the same thing. I'm going to change NPR to state T. And it's like,
it's just stupid.
This isn't RT, Russian. That's a literal state. So yeah, they're pulling. They're going to stop being on Twitter.
They left their Twitter account up and they pinned a post to the top, said this is where you can find us, a bunch of other social accounts, and that's that. And the interesting thing I thought was that the CEO of NPR said two things, and the first was like, look, we disagree with the direction Elon Musk is taking the company, but the second thing is he came out and said, look, we've crunched the numbers, we don't benefit by staying here. The people that click on links that go to an article on our website, they don't listen to our radio broadcast. They don't listen to one thing and then start listening to other things. It makes no financial sense for us.
Well, that's what it comes down to in the end of the day. I mean, like,
well,
post links and you have the data to prove that, like, hey, we don't really benefit from this.
I think that's it. I think that, like, having said that might make it easier for other companies to look and say, like the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever, and say, like, look, we're on Twitter a lot.
He removed their check mark, the major news organization.
How much do you get? Like, do people go from TikTok and then subscribe? Is that a lot of? Maybe it is. Maybe that's why they stay. But like, I think it's an interesting question for these companies to ask.
TikTok's hipper than Twitter. So if you're on TikTok, there's a good chance that you'll just get people who don't listen to the radio.
Right.
You benefit in a way where Twitter, the fucking head of the owner, is playing games and purposely mislabeling your account.
Yeah.
For right-wing bullshit. It is, and they know it because they've heard it for years from right-wing Republicans trying to defund them in every way possible. So what did he do? He labeled them
state-sponsored media.
And then he changed it to government-funded or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he changed that. And it's like...
It's...
And like, again, well, go ahead, sorry.
Well, it's just like he's targeting them. Like, he doesn't do that to any other...
Oh, yeah, I saw all the right-wing grifters on there like, yeah, go Elon. Yeah. Like, I saw like some of the comments on it, like, yeah, good. You guys are government funded. It's like
so stupid.
You could say the same thing about Fox News then. I mean, like Fox News.
All these places take federal funding to some degree.
But Fox News is literally government propaganda. Yeah. The state house, the House is run by Republicans, and they're fully in bed with Republicans, the Fox News. So Fox News is fucking government sanctioned propaganda. It's political party propaganda. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Good on NPR. Hopefully it starts a domino effect. And like you said, New York Times should do the same thing and say, like,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they benefit more. I don't know. I think maybe like, NPR is a radio station. It's different. New York Times, like, they got to sell their digital. right?
Right.
They make most of their money now, besides newspapers.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to spread information effectively that way, then I guess you stay on Twitter. But I wonder what it would look like if they weren't on Twitter.
Well, that's the thing. And again, at the end of the day, Twitter's real value,
Yeah,
is its effect it has had on politics and news.
True.
And when you turn away news organizations, like, Ian Miles Chung's not going to bring in people.
Right. Yeah.
Charlie Kirk is not going to bring people into Twitter. Tim Pool, like, NPR is a legit organization.
Oh, yeah.
It's, New York Times is a fucking man.
Legit, yeah.
Like, it's a big fucking deal. So Twitter, it's like, he's so stupid. It's like, it was all for this like right-wing grift, and it's like, dude, you literally are destroying your car. Like, if Twitter's a car, you literally like popped your tires.
Right.
Like, you still have a car, but you ain't going anywhere. Like, isn't that crazy that the car, like, at the end of the day, the tires are like, they're not the most expensive thing, but man, they're really necessary.
Yeah, they're pretty important.
It's like literally your feet. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, in the midst of all this, the follow-up on this is that Elon Musk has been doing a few interviews talking about how his Twitter purchase has gone.
Yeah.
And he's putting on quite the sad face to talk about it. He said he's losing money.
Well, I thought he said he's breaking even now.
He did say, you're right. Later on, he said he's breaking even. He said he's losing money, and then breaking even on some other things. But it was a little unclear to me whether he's talking about Twitter alone, because I think he's recently merged it into like Company X or something.
Again, will Twitter go away at some point? I don't know, but he's just devaluing it. It may not happen right away, but within a couple of years, no one's going to give a shit about Twitter. If he remains and he keeps doing what he's doing, people will eventually just go on some other app. And that's just the truth. Like not some bullshit app like Hive or any of this crap.
Right.
Their main goal is to just sell themselves to like Instagram or whatever, make a ton of money. And
yeah.
Hey, thanks for making us look cool. Bye, guys. Thank you. Hey, big announcement. We're now part of the Meta family. Wait, I came to you because I hate the way Facebook, like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't think that's how it works? Thank you. Thanks for all your free content.
Well, I don't think, I agree. I think eventually something will supplant Twitter. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know what it'll look like, but I think it will happen.
The problem is, like, Twitter at the end of the day is was supposed to be this apolitical thing.
Mm-hmm.
That like just like it doesn't have like an agenda, but then you see like tribal and all this other crap, and this is supposed to be ones that like liberals push, and I'm like, it's the same shit. It's no different than like Parler or any of that crap. Like it should be apolitical.
Yeah, should be.
Like, that's why Twitter starts out and became successful in the beginning, because anyone can go on there and say whatever. It's just the problem is it kind of becomes a cesspool, and you have to kind of like clean some of the scum out. And then Musk comes in and brings so I start cleaning the pool again and says, what would be a good idea? Remember all that sludge that we sifted out it took years and we did it. Let's throw that back in the pool.
Yeah, more of that.
Let's throw that sludge back in. It's been festering on the grass by the pool for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
All our advertisers won't stick around. What you mean? They don't want ads next to like some bigot?
Yeah. They gotta sell. They gotta sell the ad space. Wow.
Like, sir, I'm just trying to promote the new Mario movie. I did not want to be next to the tweet that's talking about the new 14 words.
Yeah.
Wasn't he getting sued by Germany or something because of all the Nazis that he let back on, and it's like illegal in Germany or something? Like, there's some.
I remember hearing about that when it happened. I don't know if that ever did happen.
Oh, then he like silences people, but then like he's fully in bed with Modi in India, and he
Oh
has
yeah.
like, I mean, the whole thing's a farce.
Yeah.
Good on NPR for leaving. I'm assuming that's that's the beginning. You're going to see. All it takes is one.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, this is kind of like a good place to go into our last item, Missouri, which has just been fucking crazy. And maybe these are turning points. Maybe all it will take is a few more young voters to turn out and get rid of the people like we're going to talk about now. I had seen this clip, and you had seen this too. We're talking specifically about a state senator who wanted to keep it legal for 12-year-olds to get married, right?
Yeah, I'll just play the clip real quick.
Yeah. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Jess Piper, Piper for Missouri. She's a executive director for Blue Missouri, nominee for state rep 2022. Rural mom fighting for public schools, podcaster. She posted this video and said the way Mike Moon went in with his entire chest to say that he knew 12-year-olds who have been married off to adults is just mind-numbing. By the way, that 12-year-old's husband can keep her pregnant. She can't even finalize a divorce in Missouri. That's interesting.
Oh, God.
So here's the thing. So I don't know exactly. I guess the person talking is just somebody that's not on the council. Someone,
right?
Okay, and I guess someone who's not the. I'm assuming that guy on the council, Mike Moon. I'm assuming he's a Republican.
Yes.
Did you look that up?
I heard that earlier. Let me verify that though. That's a good point because I saw it in a couple different places.
On YSGOAT News, we try to actually talk about real things. We don't, we don't have our beanies on right now. We're not Tim Pool that say whatever they want. And,
he is
GOP
a Republican.
Missouri, Insider reported Mike Moon, GOP Missouri lawmaker, defends child's right to get married. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the video. Let me put the sound on.
Yep.
And it's just.
You talk about parents' rights to raise their kids how they want. In fact, I just double checked. You voted no on making it illegal for kids to be married to adults at the age of 12 if their parents consented to it. You said actually that should be the law because it's the parents' right and the kids' right to decide what's best for them to be raped by an adult. Okay?
Do you know any kids who have been
with
married
marriage
at age 12?
That was the law. You voted not to change it.
Do you know any kids who have been married at age 12?
I don't need to.
I do. And guess what? They're still married.
Gentlemen, heard you talk about parents' rights to raise their kids.
Okay. So that's like that exchange in the end is so funny.
It's great.
No, I don't need to. I don't need to know 12-year-olds to know that that's wrong. Well, I'm Mike Moon, and I do. It's like he's bragging.
Yeah, like he's got a lot of acquaintances.
Still happily married.
She's come over with their child bride.
Yeah, she's kept her in her crate at night and most of the day.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
They come over to share some dinner with friends, and they're like, "Why don't you put on Blue's Clues for my wife?" And I'll be.
We gotta go. Well, my wife's not gonna eat any dinner. I promise to take her to Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
She's a child. But it's great because people think I'm her grandpa.
Yeah. We have not paid for 2 meals in our 6 years of marriage because kids eat free.
Denny's has been very friendly to us. Like, what the fuck?
We are never canceling Denny's.
I thought the drag queens were the groomers. What's going on here? It's like these clowns, they will say all the shit about the LGBT, say they're groomers, say they're pedos, while voting for bills that allow people to marry child brides.
I wouldn't say that's common, but I do see that, and it's always the Republicans voting to like make it so that 15-year-olds can get married and stuff. That's real depressing.
What did I say? Like, how do you know you're talking to a libertarian? Ask them about age consent laws.
Right. Yeah.
It's so gross. I love that guy's response though. No, I don't need to.
Yeah, I don't look. That you're.
No, I don't hang out in those circles. Like, why? I know many people, beautiful couples, They've been married for years. The girl will be 16. They've been married for 6 years. She'll be 16 soon.
Well,
I plan on attending her sweet 16. But her husband's going to divorce her because she's getting too old. The fuck?
Trade her in on a new model.
Oh, God.
Well,
That video. And then Missouri just voted to, what did you said, defund libraries?
Yeah, they are putting, well, it hasn't been voted on yet, but it's passed through like committee or whatever. They want to defund all public libraries in the state. So that's I think the MLA, the Modern Languages or Modern Library Association, one of those groups filed a brief saying that, like, look, it's in the Constitution that you have to fund libraries. So you can't vote to do this. You have to offer an amendment. So there may be some hiccups there, but
ACLU calls Missouri Republicans' move to defund libraries abhorrent. That's a nice word to use. I would say criminally stupid, but
yeah. Well, that happened in a small city in, I want to say, eastern Texas, near Arkansas, where this bullshit little town banned all books having to do with gay and lesbian stuff. And then the ACLU sued him and says, you can't do that. And a federal judge said, you got to put those books back. And instead of putting the books back, the Republicans shut down the library.
Oh my God.
So
that's like in a store, like if like Walmart and people unionize, Walmart will just shut the store down.
They will.
They'll shut it down in a minute.
They move next door,
yeah, they'll
move down the road to a place that has.
No, they'll just leave the area.
Yeah.
Missouri Republicans threatened to fund public libraries in stunning move over book bans. Man,
it's crazy.
This is the kind of shit that, like, people like. How do you not look crazy?
Yeah.
Well, there was one other thing happened in Missouri we were gonna bring up. There was like another funny Missouri story.
Could it have
like
been
3?
Well, yeah, the big one was that third one's on the tip of my tongue. The libraries was one, the child bride was another, and I'm not, the third one is not ringing a bell. I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, what?
There was a third one though, I think.
Hold on. This is from 2022.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it was stupid.
Yeah.
I used to make like we would make like state shirts and it'd be like puns on the name.
Yeah.
And Missouri was always Missouri. Damn.
There you go.
Definitely Missouri. Like, what the fuck, man? You said that it used to be like kind of like a purplish state.
Yeah. Missouri for a long time was kind of a bellwether state, meaning whoever won Missouri would win the presidency.
That woman that was senator there, and she fucking
Claire McCaskill,
yeah, she sucked. She like blamed it on like progressives, like how about you just could have done a better job and made sure a carpetbagger like Josh Hawley didn't get in.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm looking at the record for presidential voting, and in 76 they voted for Carter. And then 80, 84, and 88, they voted for Reagan and Bush. And then in 92 and 96, they voted for Clinton. And then they voted for Republicans ever since. So for a while, it was whoever, they would be in the majority with whoever won, but then starting with post-Clinton, they went with George W. Bush, and they've been Republican ever since. So it's weird. Like a lot of these states, there's a natural Democratic constituency there. It's just a lot of them have been disenfranchised through gerrymandering, through legal systems that cause you to lose your voting rights for a minor infraction. a lot of stuff like that. So
Well, I'm
that
looking
sucks.
at Missouri stuff right now, and nothing crazy yet. Well, this was from 15 hours ago from Dara Fay. A Missouri police officer is charged with statutory rape, amongst other sexual crime charges. He engaged in sexually explicit conversations with the minor, as well as met her in person for sex under the alias Austin Sims. Meet Officer August P. Gildehouse. He looks like he came out of the same machine that produced Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, oh damn it! Hold on, like,
oh yeah, yeah,
it's another hog,
right?
But I mean, like, I guess that Mike Moon guy would be like, hey, now,
right?
That man is a upstanding citizen.
True love waits.
He married that young minor. That's his wife now.
God.
How what are you to say? What are you guys to judge? Love? You guys, what happened to romance? Some people say Mike Moon's a romantic. Some others might say he's a pedophile. Or a pedophile enabler. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's married to. His wife's old. She's 15.
All right.
Hold on. I'm trying to find and see if there was like any other Missouri stuff. I swore there was a third one that was pretty bad. It looks like the Mike Moon thing. Well, what's awesome is Senator Mike Moon, like the two Justins, they got famous, a national stage. They get famous for being outspoken about, regulating guns and standing up for the people of their district. And Mike Moon will gain national notoriety
for wanting to bang a 12-year-old.
Well, I didn't say he would do that. We're saying that he celebrates the marriage of people marrying their children. Well, hell now. I didn't say that. Just like Harlan Crow
right
collects the things he hates.
No.
I'm gonna go eat a bunch of things I hate. I go to the supermarket and I just buy it. I'm like, what do I hate?
So that's how you remember you hate it, right?
Yeah. I eat it. And I got tear it apart with my teeth, and I consume it and poop it out. I'm like, take that. So stupid. Then that guy. We'll wrap this up saying, going back to Ben Shapiro and Harlan Crow, that guy's got to wake up every morning. Like, that's his job. See, but we don't get paid for this. I mean, as far as I know, we don't get paid. Joseph has all gold teeth.
Right. Yes.
Picks his gold teeth with a gold pick. Bar gold. He has to wake up every day and like, all right, what do I got to spin today? What do I got to Ben Shapiro?
What outrages me today?
What do I have to pretend to be pissed off about today? Wait, what? All right, Ben. Here you go. Here's the notes. All right, let me go over this. I gotta go do some performance. Who's this Harlan Crow guy?
Right.
Oh, it's like he actually donates. He funds the Daily Wire. Probably, there's a good chance. It's found out that he collects Nazi memorabilia.
Right.
He owns a copy of Mein Kampf that's signed by Hitler himself. The Holocaust, Ben. The thing where you have family members that died in.
Jesus.
All right. Well, I have no scruples or moral.
Sign me up.
So let me see how I'm going to spin this. I got this. He collects the things he hates.
Yeah.
Harlan, this is Ben. I got to tell you,
I think I solved it.
I solved it. You collect the things I hate that you hate. I don't hate that stuff. I'm Harlan Crow. You have to say that because
Yeah,
That's how he
contractually.
talks. Like, I, Holland Crow, love all my Nazi stuff. I jack off to the copy of Mein Kampf signed by Hitler.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel,
I'm Joseph K.
and you're still going on about
That.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.